That's all it is.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, #1 listener-supported radio, the printing press for freedom at a time when freedom is needed the most.
What is going on here? I demand an explanation.
We work for a highly funded yet unofficial government agency.
An intelligence organization that fears intelligence, historically not awesome.
The United States is a democratic nation. Here the people rule. We build no walls to keep them in, nor organize any system of police to keep them mute.
Freedom isn't free at all, but it comes with the highest of costs.
We have you, the listeners, and the hosts at
Revolution Radio,
for allowing us to bring you a platform of free speech.
Right now, it's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines,
clock's run out. Time's up. Wind is blowing cold and dark. On the road and no way out. Broken house, the smoking gun. On the run. On the run.
Yeah, it's Friday night. My name's Jimmy. What the hell's going on around here? Man,
I don't know.
If it's one thing, if it's not one thing real, you know what? It's 10,000 other ones.
Double Greasy Pirate Radio Nut Hut Studios. It's time for the very first ever Southern...
Friday night. You ready to get your swerve on? Well, you better buckle down, buckle up, and get ready. Because Into the Microcosm is on the air.
At night I walk this stinking street past the crazies on my block, and I see the same old faces and I hear that same old talk, and I'm searching for the latest thing I break in this routine. I'm talking some new kicks, ones like you ain't never seen. This is home. This is Main Street. Yes, it's home. The only one I know. And we don't worry about tomorrow, 'cause we're sick of these four walls. Now what you think is nothing might be something.
Epic Tournament. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
Aloha Friday.
Woo. Man,
It seemed like it took forever, man.
it's the day after. The day after All Hallows Eve. When all the curtain climbing ankle biters walk the earth in search of chocolates. And sometimes they find them. My name's Jimmy. It's in the Microcosmos Friday night. It's Revolution.radio. Come on down. Become supporters of that radio because you know what? It's free speech, man. Free speech. Get it while it's hot. Get it while it lasts because it ain't going to be around much longer. You can believe that. That's for sure, man. You know? Epic Journeyman. It's good to see you.
Clue that the easiest way to see in the dark
Is to have a cat.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man. There's a couple of champagne glasses there we can toast. We will fiddle while Rome burns tonight on Into the Microcosm. There's so much to talk about and so little time. You know how that is?
is not with a flashlight. It's
Not with a flashlight. That's not how you find it. No.
That's an iced tea thing from back in the day, wasn't it? It was Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
Iced tea.
It's iced tea, right? Yeah, I remember it was on Oprah.
I don't know. Looks like Flippy's over here, greatest ever. Polly Nation, Golden Eagle, Mike Mont. Woohoo! Amber 2. Is that Karen Carpenter's over there? Come on over Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean on YouTube. It's got about
I love her music.
We got about 50 people over here. Or 40 people. I don't know. I can't tell. Doesn't matter. Come over here if you want to. You see, man, Rock and Rio, have you arrived?
I have arrived.
Excellent. Hey, there's Billy Ray, M.F.N. Valentine. We should add him to the call if he wants to come on. Billy.
Might have some Puerto Rican perspective.
Yeah, it's funny. I know. I mentioned that to Amber that last week we talked to Billy and we said, hey, Billy, man, let's go to Puerto Rico. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Sunday,
it's
whatever.
A floating island of garbage on Monday, right?
All of a sudden, yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, Puerto Rico becomes a big topic of discussion across the planet.
It's cool if you got your paper towels, man.
The show reverberates around the world for no reason.
Right.
Do you think Puerto Rico is just hanging in the ether and for some reason we just snatched
It's
onto
actually a
it.
floating island, right? Like literally floating.
It was
like,
floating in the ether.
space.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Maybe it was just floating in the ether.
I think everybody over there is a lot more chilled out than everybody over here. That's for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Go to Puerto Rico.
They're just happy they're not Cuba, right?
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, right.
But listen, Puerto Rico, that's the place to go. No matter what now, who was the comedian now? Do you guys know who it was? The guys that was.
I never heard of him
his
before.
name, but I don't remember it.
Joe Rogan said he's a personal friend, right? That's all I know.
Yeah.
He introduced.
It's like a Don Rickles type. He's an insult comic. That's his gig,
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Except for he
roasted Tom Brady. That's what he's famous for. But I didn't see the roast.
Except for he's not him. He's what I mean. He's not that guy. He doesn't have the respect. I mean, that guy could get away with it because he had respect. This is just some dude. Maybe he's not though. Maybe with Gen Z, he's the hot comedian dude. I never heard of him before. But I did see
nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Everybody I've listened to has no idea who
so
that
now
guy was.
Are people saying he was a Trojan horse? He was in there just to f everything.
Of course.
Right? Is that what was going on with that? He was effing stuff up. All right, listen. This is the clip of the week right now, unless something overtakes it for some reason. You guys have something now. Rio, I would highly suggest since this is only 38.9 seconds long. I'd highly recommend that you could maybe download this and reverse it, just because it's only, like I say, 39 seconds. It's funny. It's 39 seconds. That's funny. Right. You know why? Because he references the 9 in here.
Yeah, it's said several times.
Yeah. We'll drop it in the old Skype-aroo now.
All right, it's in there. It's in there. All right, I'll do it again. But here he comes. You ready for this? Here he comes.
But his daughter is a very dumb individual. Very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her. Okay, let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. On her face. The guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, "Oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy." But she's a stupid person, and I used to I'd have meetings with a lot of people, and she 9 barrel shooting at her. Okay, let's see how she feels about it.
So the only part the mainstream is playing over and over, okay, whipping up this civil war that's due in about 5 days. They're whipping it up in every way they can. Anything that comes up that they can gleam onto. Well, the only part of this they're playing is this part right here.
Shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks.
Here, let me back it up. It's back up here a little bit more because this is where it is.
Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face.
And that's where they cut it. That's where they stop it. And they go.
Well, I have to say, all the news things, because I watched that, they did play the whole 39 seconds whatever from her being a war hawk.
Did they? Well, listen.
Yeah, because it was a Drudge Report that started this, right? So it was Drudge Report's, actually their headline was, what was it? I have to get the exact quote. I don't have it. It's in red, right? Trump says to put Liz Cheney in front of firing squad. That's the headline. Firing squad's in the headline. Liz Cheney firing squad is
something like that. Listen, it doesn't matter. It's ridiculous. The point is that this is 39 seconds long, okay? And so I don't know how long he was over there talking. I mean, it's like people pulling out Bible quotes
out of context
that just support whatever they're saying. I mean, you can find a Bible quote that'll support whatever your position is on any issue. If you're crafty enough. Okay, Rio, I'm going to try to drop this in here. So
I got it.
You got it already? All right. Okay. Yeah, so that's something that's been going on here. So obviously the news everywhere, like we were saying last week, it's going to continue on because there's already questions now. People are already finding, like I say, there's going to be millions of people scouring the earth for anomalies coming up here on November 5th. This isn't your granddaddy's elections, okay? These are, elections where anything's possible, especially with demographic and, real-time, data scraping. You know what I'm saying, Epic Journeyman? I mean,
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a trip because the thing that's going to blow everybody's minds is that all the polling is 100% wrong. 100% wrong. Like it's not tied at all right now. It's either going to break for Trump or it's either going to break for Kamala in a big way. Either way, it's not going to be that close because the Gen Z vote is not accounted for in those polls because they don't answer the phone. They're not registered to vote. So first time voting, right? So it's a total wild card. And it's 30 million voters if only half of them vote, right? So they are going to swing the election completely and they're not accounted for. So it's going to be 7 points one way or the other, probably, or 5 at least.
Here's the thing,
and they're not accounted for.
But here's the thing to think about too, though. Not all Gen Zs are liberal.
No, that's what I'm saying. The young men are all for Trump. I mean, they are. And mostly. I won't say all. Nobody's all. It's not a monolith, right? But yeah. The young people, Trump's kind of done a really good job of going after with Rogan and all the broadcast kind of things. And then Kamala's going after the women.
Broadcast.
So it's going to break that way. That's what it is.
I know.
Right?
It's ridiculous, man.
I mean, it is though, right? It just is.
See, I don't know. I don't know. I'm from if men are lone wolves, I mean, why do they need to be in twos or whatever? It's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it is like that. That's like the joke right now, right? It's like even I've heard a couple of jokes lately, like it's basically that, like, yeah, you can tell, the thing about whatever blah 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 with women because they don't have any girlfriends, talking about the incel crowd because it's a primarily right wing thing, right? It is, right? It's like the Patriot Front people. There's only a couple of them, but still.
Yeah, golden.
This all gets blown out of proportion, right? But I do think that the young men, like judging from here in Hawaii, I can't judge too much because it's going to vote, Democratic almost assuredly. But I don't think it's going to be the 80% it normally is. It's going to be 70 or 60, 60-40, 70-30, somewhere in there. Maybe 65-35. I don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout as people think it is because the young crowd up here, the young men in particular, are for Trump, right? Because it's all about anti-trans.
Joe Brogan.
Anti-trans, anti-gay.
Joe Brogan.
Yeah. Joe Brogan.
Nice. That's funny, Amber.
Well done, Amber. Yeah. Exactly. No, and it's just what it is, right? And so, and then the other side, they're really putting a lot of stock in having women vote, right? So they vote in higher numbers, but is Gen Z women, are they going to vote? I don't know, man. We're putting a lot of stock in these Gen Z people, but I do think they're going to make the difference in the election.
Looking at our demographic on YouTube, we have no listeners in the Gen Z category.
Right, I know.
But what's cool about that is we should almost find a Gen Z person and interview them, have them on as a guest. No, have them on as a guest. Like we would any other guest.
That's a good idea.
Sharing information because, we're out of the loop, man. Remember, like right. It used to be if they're over 30, you don't trust them. That was how it was back in the 60s. If they're 30 and over, that you don't trust them anymore.
Charlton Heston, Planet of the Apes, right? Don't trust anybody over 30.
Yeah.
Right? Talk to Cornelius. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, not Cornelius, it's Cornelius' nephew, right?
Rock and Rio, what the hell's going on around here, man? I thought you had shit under control over there on the East Coast, but no. Everything's out of control now. What the hell happened, man? Where's Billy? Is Billy coming over here? Anyways, where's Rio, man? Do you fall asleep?
He's here. It might be another mic problem.
Oh, he's reversing that shit. That's
right. He's reversing. That's right. He's got the lab coat on, man.
Yes, I got the lab coat on.
I couldn't see the lab coat because there's so much smoke in the studio.
Well, it's funny you should say that because the first line I have says, her nose don't get that sniff from marijuana.
Oh, that's funny. Really? Yeah. I saw that video where people were saying she's snorting coke. because she kept tapping her nose and, telling stories like back in the day. You know how that used to. I don't know. I've heard back in the day that when people snorted coke and they were staying up late at night, they'd sit there telling stories.
Oh yeah,
long-winded.
I've
heard tale.
I've heard tell.
Exactly.
Jaw's going sideways, right?
Yeah, her jaw is going sideways. Exactly. I don't know, man.
All right, here you go.
Listen,
here you go.
like we said, we're fiddling while we're on burns. Go ahead.
See, her nose don't get a sniff from marijuana.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That is too
Play
good.
a little faster. I think it's good. Like almost full speed. It probably sounds insane.
I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter. Her nose is only gets it from marijuana.
Damn, coming out of the gates, Rio's strong like a thoroughbred. Look at him. All right, go ahead, man. You want to continue, or shall we?
I did find another. There's a couple more in here, but there's one here where he says he loves old people.
Okay, if they were over to get an old isn't it?
Okay, I think it's this one.
Old
Old people, I love them.
Yeah.
With a lot of people. Old people, I love them.
See, that ain't bad now. It says, old people, I love them. See, that ain't bad now.
See, Sniff, the thing is, man, when you say that word, it triggers. But I agree with you, because that was the rhetoric back then, because they were trying to get this that's getting started right now. It took this long to get to a point where that could actually happen. We could talk about that tonight, a little bit later if you want to. Sniff brought up Manson in here.
Yeah,
and I was going to bring that up, in reference to, some of the shit that's going on now, because, they've been trying to foster this type of idea for a long time. And so
it's a gift that keeps on giving, yeah.
But the thing is the real people in our country weren't at each other's throats. They weren't at each other's throats then, and they weren't at each other's throats for a long time. And maybe they're not even at each other's throats now, but it looks like they're trying. All the social engineering that's going on right now, you can see that there's stuff at work, man, at play. And, there's a specific dynamic that's being hammered by the media that everyone has access to, that they don't search out other information. They just take whatever comes down the pike as being whatever it is.
Feedback loop, yeah.
Right. So people getting smacked in the head because they're wearing a red hat in line at the polling place. Stuff like this is already going on, and, Alex down in Texas was saying, bringing stuff up about, it's not out of the realm to see some sort of an event where there's people that are taken down and killed, in large numbers by a group, and then saying that it's somebody doing that because it's racially motivated. So I didn't signify a color; it could be any color against another color. You know what I mean? Just to whip that up. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we're in a precarious situation, man. The next, I don't even know at this point. Do you? I mean, are we on the seesaw, Rock and Rio? I mean, we're going up, we're going down. We don't know what we're gonna do. We don't know what's gonna happen. We know one thing: it's like a runaway fucking train, basically. Excuse my French.
It's only a couple days away. The worst part is, it's not that so the election happens 4 days from now, but we're not going to know until another week after that, probably at least, if Nevada is at all involved. Remember, Nevada, it took them a month to certify, right? I mean,
they're saying if it comes, everything
it might come to Nevada.
They're saying it's coming down to Pennsylvania, dude.
It's looking bad for Trump in Pennsylvania right now. Actually, we don't have to hold up on election day, but right now as of this morning and going into today, there's like a plus 5%. They only know the registration people, not what they voted, obviously. But that's what I'm saying about the Gen Z thing, though, too. Like, we have no idea how that's going to break. They're going to be who chooses. They are, and we have no idea how it's going to break at all. So it's a trip, man. It's a trip. Like, they could be all like right now. It's plus 5+. Right now, breaking towards the Democratic side. That looks like they voted early. But that's in Pennsylvania. That's without knowing who's going to vote on election day and without what Gen Z is going to do at all. As far as the polls go, it's exactly even. It's the consensus is it's, there's no clear winner even by a point.
Yeah, so listen, don't forget that Elon Musk was a WEF young up-and-comer, along with Trump's daughter, Ivanka.
Yeah, the PayPal Mafia people are all involved in this, yeah.
Listen, and I want to say this. Everybody's, smoking the Elon Musk pecker or whatever, and that's all well and good if that's what you're into. But here's what you need to know. Go and look at what his statement was about if Trump gets elected, what's going to happen. He literally made. I'll dig the statement up if you guys can jump in here, because he basically said if Trump gets elected and he comes into this position that he's been offered, right, that there is going to be a hurting, is what he said. He said people.
There's going to be a period of pain. Yes. Exactly,
and he said it was going to be so bad, and I'm sure he was talking about us, the little people. It's going to be so bad for the little people that he was going to have to hire bodyguards. That's exactly what he said. He's going to be so unpopular that he's going to have to hire bodyguards. So, I mean, it sounds to me like he's down with the sickness, man. He's the WEF said great reset, and here it comes, man. Why do you think everyone just bend it? Why do you, I don't know, man. Look, things are different because
they bend over for Klaus because they had to bend over for Klaus.
Yeah, they were at the, I wonder if Diddy throws parties for the WEF crew over there.
Ain't no party like a Klaus party. I don't know. I have no idea. I never heard any rumors about that even. But
Diddy learned his chops from Klaus.
You just don't know, man.
The
whole thing that Diddy got away with that for that long, that's the most spectacular thing about that. It's like Epstein on steroids. I mean, what the hell? How was it able to sustain itself that long with all those people who knew about it too? They all knew about it. They all talked about it. The comedians joked about it. They said they knew they couldn't go beyond, making an innuendo. I'm telling you, man. I mean, it was 10 years of, authoritarian rule in the entertainment industry based on being on one of those tapes, basically. Right?
Rio, are you sending Skype messages in here? Is someone?
No, that wasn't me.
Yeah, I'm here.
It might be Billy Ray. He said somebody needs to call him.
Yeah, let me see.
All right, I'll add him.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Billy. He's messaged us 7 times. 7s, man. Coming up 7s. You want to hear a funny story while he's adding Billy Ray Valentine? I'll tell you a funny Billy Ray Valentine.
Itching to get in here.
I'll tell you a funny Billy Ray Valentine story. Okay, so I was on my way to go to Colorado, and on my way there, I have to stop in Nevada before I head out. But I don't stop in Vegas. I stop in this other shite hole. It's right next to the border. And it has, you can gamble there still, but you ain't going to win because it's the last place to gamble before you go over the border.
Right. Take your money, stop.
Right, right. But so I wasn't planning on gambling. All right. But I decided, I'll stop over there and get something to eat. And then I'll just, I'll go to the roulette table, So I was talking to Billy on the phone because I was going to do the show on the road on the way to Colorado or something. And so I was talking to Billy on the phone about coming on or something. And I said, Billy, I'm going over there to the roulette table. So, give me a number. And right now I can't remember what the number was, okay? But I bet on that number, and then I also bet on black. So it was the number, and the number came up and black. It was only me and another dude at the table. I think I won $268. And I was like, damn, and I know, I was just leaving on a trip, and I was like, right on. Well, I definitely made the right decision.
Good fortune. Good luck. Great.
Yeah, prim. Exactly, prim.
Yep.
So anyways, I'm feeling like I made the right decision because I won that money. And then the next morning was when my dog tore my forearm off. But at least I had.
Maybe we have time later to get into the whole arrangement you had, the living situation, and it being this weird, just nightmarish,
it's been long enough.
Massacre kind of situation.
It's been long enough that I could talk about it and not have to worry that they're going to hear it and come kill me.
Yeah, no joke, man. If you guys haven't heard the story, man, he's told it before, but it's something else, man.
Billy Ray Valentine, welcome into the microcosm. Thanks for joining us, brother. I thought you and Rio had the East Coast under control, and I can see that it's not. It's out of control now. I thought you got.
I definitely can't count on Rio to hold it down. With those people that he hangs with over there, I can't take accountability for any of that side of it. My side is completely
like to party all the time.
Under control. I got everything under control here. Everybody's wearing white sneakers. Everybody looks good. We're waiting. We can't wait to get going and get this all over with. Rio up there, I don't know what's going on.
That's right. I got my black shoes on.
Right. You see what I mean? Completely throwing everything off.
Well, the thing is the European Union Commission is calling on its citizens to stock up on supplies, as most bloc countries are, quote, not in a position to ensure the survival of their citizens for at least 3 days. So they're saying that they want everybody to have 72 hours of supplies. Why? I mean, just out of the blue for no reason. Just like, hey, Billy, by the way, could you make sure you have 72 hours worth of supplies, because I can't guarantee you're going to keep you safe. We can't ensure that you're going to be safe. What is that?
Go get 72 hours of supplies ASAP. Maybe double it.
Okay, so this was sent out October 31st, or this tweet is dated October 31st, but I don't know for sure if this is from October 31st, but I'm going to go ahead and assume it is because it's disclosed.tv's post.
Oh, God.
So I don't think...
I know where it came from, though. I know exactly where it came from. So the situation was that they worry that there's going to be that Russia is going to attack the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhia in Ukraine, like right ahead of the election, like imminently, and that it's going to take the fallout into Europe from the the winds carrying the fallout. Like there'll be another Chernobyl. That's why. That's the motive behind this. I heard about that a couple weeks ago, actually. That was.
Mm-hmm. What happened? You just cut out.
Yeah, I heard that. That's weird. No, people in the European Union specifically were bringing that up. Like that was a security threat they were concerned about.
Well, what I'm concerned about is Dr. Rowe, because he went over to Spain, and I don't know if you saw the flooding in Spain that happened. And then
what a trip, huh?
No, but listen to this. The town that got wiped out is going to be a 15-minute city.
Of course it is.
No, it's literally unbelievable. So Maui, North Carolina, and whatever this town is in Spain. Sorry,
San Diego's. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a trip.
I don't know, man. It's all too much, man, isn't it, Billy? What the F's going on, bro? Seriously, no. We got 5 days. You got 5 days. Are you staying in New York?
Yeah, man. This is being blown way out of proportion. This is a lot of right-wing propaganda, a lot of MAGA propaganda going on here. It's not going to be a civil war. It's not happening.
Well, let me ask you this now. Let me ask you a question. So, because I'm curious. Okay, have you ever been to prison?
I've been behind bars once or twice.
Okay, was it for a period of time or just overnight?
Nah, man, just not even overnight, bro.
Okay, all right.
I was locked up for a couple of hours twice.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because there's a certain thing that happens when you're in that type of a situation, and that is that whatever race you are, you group up with the other dudes that are the same race as you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like a tribal thing, and there's no mixing or buddies or this kind of shit.
Yeah, man.
And so when the reason I'm bringing it up is because the idea that's being pushed by the mainstream to inflame people of color about Trump coming to hang them and taking them. He's against he's against mixed marriages. He's going to take away your husbands or your wives. All this shit that they're saying, and I'm not saying that a thinking man would bat that shit away, but there's a lot of people that they just hear with some shit. Imagine. I'm just saying. Let me just say this. Imagine you're a black dude right now here from another country. Okay, you barely speak English. Okay,
from Haiti.
You barely speak English. Wherever you're from, it doesn't matter. You don't speak English. You're black, but you're hearing this shit, and then other people are telling you this, and it just goes into that community, and people actually believe that shit. That Trump's gonna. And now now the whole thing about the deportation thing, right? The rounding up of peoples, putting them in camps and deporting them. The idea about that, and the idea that somebody can agree with that, meaning that, well, what if all of a sudden you're the person, that I'm just saying now it's immigrants or whatever, but maybe another time it's somebody else, whoever it is, political enemies, who knows, the way things are going, the way things are being thrown around, the rhetoric that's going on, the hate that's being spit, the shit that already happened once before, it's already starting to happen again. Preloading the game with the idea that there's a question about the integrity of the situation. It's like, well, if I don't win, it must have been fixed. Like that, because
you don't need no sore losers, man.
Well, I'm just saying, because if you look at
whatever side, just deal with it.
Billy, listen, if you look at it and you look at this. The rhetoric and everything that's been going on, and no matter what happens, they took a shot at him. He came up with his fist, this and that. There he is every day. He's doing this, he's doing that. He's pulling up in a garbage truck. He's fucking. The guy is everywhere. And there's this idea that there's an overwhelming community of people that are going to vote him in 92%, and he's just going to blow by any idea of fakery, right? That's what they think. So there's a whole group of other people, like 50% of other people, that don't think that, And so now, what were you saying, Epic Journeyman, about the polling?
The polling's like tied, like is as close to a tie everywhere as you could possibly imagine. Overall, like the popular vote, Cuomo's ahead, +2 to +4, depending what you're looking at. But as far as like the battleground states, it's pretty much a complete tie. The best anybody's doing is +2. Officially, the poll of all polls, kind of the averages. On either way, it can break either way, So it's as close as it's ever been. And the problem is, and what we were talking about earlier in the show, Billy, if you were listening, I think you were, was that Gen Z is not accounted for at all in these polls. Like it's the absolute, factor that's going to shift the election completely. And there's no accounting for it because they don't answer the phone. They're first-time voters, first-time registrants. They're not accounted for at all as likely voters.
Okay, so let me say this, and let me bring this up, Billy. So if that's the case, let's say all things are equal, there is no election fraud, okay? Election fraud is having a problem with the election itself. Voter fraud is the person fraudulently voting. Those are two different things, okay? But Epic Journeyman, the problem with this whole idea is what? We have to sit here and go through this whole thing. And so if these Gen Zs, all of a sudden, all things are equal, there's no, you don't have to prove there's anything funky going on because the Gen Zs come in and their numbers push Kamala over Trump, say. Let's just say that in a hypothetical situation. But to everybody that wants Trump, without knowing that, what would they think? They would think, well, where did all these votes come from? There must have been illegal voting going on. It must have been, because in California you don't even have to show ID. You can just vote.
To match the signature.
I'm just saying. It's I don't know, Billy. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Do you don't think there's going to be an answer on November 5th? Do you?
No, they're saying there's not going to be an answer on November 5th. I'd be very, very, very shocked if there were. They're already saying it, that there's not going to be an answer on November 5th. We shouldn't expect one. But what we should expect, and I think this is blatantly obvious, and it's already happening. We should expect Donald Trump and MAGA to claim fraud. They're already doing it. If he loses, and I think there's a strong probability that he's going to, if he loses, he will claim fraud. And 50% of the nation, right, or maybe just a little bit less, is going to claim fraud right along with him. And the alternative media is going to back it up 100%, whether they're pro-Trump or not, without any real evidence. Because of what Epic just said, not necessarily Gen Z, even though that's a factor, but there's a lot of problems with these polls. And we know that from the beginning, but all of a sudden, we're going by them as if it's gospel, right? They're saying that the national polls are this close. So is Kamala Harris going to win the popular vote by a few million or not?
100% she is. I think that's the question.
She is. Of course she's going to win the popular vote by millions and millions. Therefore, the polling is off just based on that, right? I've heard some theories that they're trying to compensate for Trump overperforming the polls in 2016 and in 2020. That they're trying to overcompensate for that because they don't want that to happen again. I don't know what they're doing with these polls. I know the national polls are probably not accurate. I can believe that Trump is up in Pennsylvania. I can believe that he's up. Not that he is. I just can believe that if that's the case. I can buy that. I can buy a Donald Trump presidency from the Electoral College. I don't think it's likely. And when it happens, when Kamala Harris wins, the alternative media is going to lose their collective mind. I was watching Union of the Unwanted because I thought one of my friends was going to be on, even though some of my friends are always on that show. But one of my friends in particular, I wanted to watch. I wanted to see what he was going to say. Mm-hmm. And almost universally, they were talking about if Donald Trump loses, no one thinks he's going to lose, by the way.
That's what
Everybody there thought he was going to win.
That's what I just got done saying.
Right, I heard you.
That's what I'm saying. Billy, that's what I'm saying is that it will. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, look, no one takes into account the Gen Zs, like he was saying.
Taking into account anything.
Okay, but listen, but just saying, even without any of the other shit that's out there, there's a lot of shit out there right now about different stuff going on with ballots. There's shit all over the place. And like I said, there's millions of people going to be scouring the earth just for that kind of shit. So no matter what happens, there's going to be a whole tangle of unnecessary, grief over this whole thing.
No, that's another thing that happens here in the alternative media. It's like I'm going to draw a comparison to one thing that happens all the time when they talk about democracy. They're like, oh, this is not a democracy. This is a republic. Right? Everybody keeps saying that over and over and over and over again. It's not a democracy. It's a republic. It's a democratic republic. It is a form of a democracy. It is a form of a democracy. But we keep saying the same thing all the time. So the same thing is happening with these elections. Everybody, I see it in the chat right now. I see it in everywhere I go. There's always fraud. There is fraud. There's proven fraud. And you're right. There is. But is there enough to overturn an election, in particular for Donald Trump? Why does the New World Order have to rig an election against Donald J. Trump? Let's stop to think about that. And why do we back him here in the alternative media? Why do we say, oh my God, they had to rig it because otherwise he wouldn't have lost. He would have won by a landslide. That is all propaganda. And we are buying into it. And currently he is saying that the Pennsylvania vote is in question. And that there is rigging going on. That doesn't sound like a very confident man to me. Okay?
No.
It doesn't sound like a very confident person.
And he's right about one thing, like the registration thing with that's true. And it got caught, right? Because what it was, there's people it's just like a job you sign up for, you get paid for the amount of ballots you turn in.
Right.
And some bozo, same signature and everything, turned in 2,300 of them, right? To get paid, right? And that's fraud on the part of this person. But those people didn't vote. Those are just the registration tickets, essentially, right? That were this guy as part of a group that answered an ad somewhere did. That's BS, and they caught it. So we should be happy they caught it. It's showing the system works, right?
The idea there, the gas, the fuel for a lot of this are these undocumented immigrants.
Some more nonsense.
I know, but hold on. Listen. This is honest. This is truth. Okay. So when people come in from somewhere else, there's like greeters there that literally hand people paperwork and register them to vote. Register them as a whatever, Republican or Democrat. So, they have blue shirts on. They go, hey, welcome to our country in whatever language it is. That goes on. That's real. But irrespective of that, the gas that's been fueling a lot of this stuff is that what everyone is putting forward is that people from other places that are just new here are getting an opportunity to have their vote counted in our country. And so no matter how you look at it, you have to say there have been so many millions of people that have come in, right? And they're spread out everywhere, wherever they are, doing whatever they're doing. But November 5th, if they go down and vote, and that vote gets counted, you know what I mean? It's like that's what's fueling a lot of this other idea. Now,
yeah, but Jimmy, there's no real evidence of that.
Yeah, there isn't. That's what I'm saying.
There just isn't.
That's what I mean. It doesn't matter. Right. If I can tell you a story about the big bad wolf, man, you're gonna be worried about going out in the woods. And so
big bad wolf, right? No, that's exactly
absolutely. That's very good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so each group is sitting there in a bubble, and the gas is being pumped in there. So each group of people believes a certain thing. No matter what happens, 50% of our people are not going to be satisfied, like we were talking about last week.
Right.
And what does that mean in 2024 when you're not satisfied? So, I'm just what I'm hoping is that it will be like the rest of the elections in my life, where either person wins, they go in there, they're there for 4 years, some shit happens, but you go on with your life and you work your job and you keep doing your thing. It's not the end of the world. I'm hoping that the ideas that are being pumped, it's like 24/7, man. It's nonstop. Now, Steve Bannon, he got out of jail. Comes out of jail, first stop, Alex Jones. He's over there. I don't know where he went before that, but he was on there today. And he was saying all this about, victory is in the palm of our hand, and all we got to do is just, keep going, and everything you've been saying, Alex, for all these years, and blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. But now, so it's interesting. Now here he is, right at the end of this cycle, where we're going into this November 5th. What do you guys think about this Steve Bannon coming out here?
Well, we know what he's going to do. I mean, we know what he's up. He's been up to this entire time. He said that he was going to plan what he was planning, rather, what he was going to do, and what he said. Even go back a couple of years, he's been saying this whole time. They're going to challenge things at the city, basically district office level. That they're going to have people not certify the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take that many, just to keep that state from certifying the vote.
Yeah, man.
And that's his plan.
Right. Ivan Ranklin is another one that's echoed these things, and he's linked up with Michael Flynn. That's what they're going to do. Steve Bannon is also made the term famous most recently. Shovel the zone with shit. That's what he does. And he's admitted that Donald Trump lost the election, and he's admitted that Donald Trump was going to take credit for winning the election regardless, whether he won or lost. This is on video. He's said this. He's done this, right? This is what he's all about. He also was instrumental in starting Cambridge Analytica. And one of the reasons he did it was he said he wanted to bring out the real America. He wanted to bring out the real feelings of people. And I always remember this one example when he decided that they were going to, this is according to Chris Wiley, of the Cambridge Analytica whistleblower, that he was going to send out a survey to Americans and ask them, if your daughter, if your son brought home a colored person, a black person, as their boyfriend, would you be okay with it? And initially they said they'd say yes, we'd be okay with it. And then he went back to the same people and said, hey, listen, we want to give you a second chance to answer this question. It's okay. You can say whatever you want. Just be honest. Would you be cool with it? And then they said, no, we wouldn't be cool with it. And he wanted to bring out the racism in people. He wanted to bring out the strong nationalism in people. And I think in a lot of ways, he's accomplished that. I'm not saying this. This was Steve Bannon. This was what he wanted to do. And in a lot of ways, it's manifested itself.
But see, we brought up Manson and the Helter Skelter thing. And right. Because back then, this was a thing. The race war, the fomenting of a race war. This was the thing. But like I was saying, people of color and white people and they weren't at that point for each other. Right. It wasn't. Everybody was chill with each other. And it wasn't up until the Obama administration came into office, and that whole Trayvon Martin thing and all this has started this whole like campaign, I would almost say. But it's all been and then eventually there was the Floyd incident. You know what I mean? And there's no way you can sit here and say that does not go on. That police don't do that. They don't act that way around people of color. All right. There's no way. Nobody knows what it's like to be black and get pulled over, unless you're black.
I got pulled over so many. I got pulled over so many times in my teenage years under Bloomberg. I got pulled over under Giuliani several times by the police. I was held at gunpoint a few times by the police. It's sure as hell not fun.
Frisk.
Yeah. And they did that to me several times because I fit the description, according to them, of whatever. It's sure as hell not fun. And they're going to, well, he's talking about giving police immunity now. I mean, you never know with Donald Trump what's going to happen when he gets in office. He'll say anything to get in there. Well, and then once he gets in, you don't know what you're going to get. But I'm not willing to take that chance.
The thing is, I have a problem with that kind of language. Mm-hmm. And the thing is I have a problem with it because that kind of language is being used and directed at a specific enemy. Okay. And so that same enemy is everyone's enemy. Everyone hates those same enemy. Mm-hmm. And so Donald can get people to go, yeah, lock them up, man. Throw them in a fucking camp. Go ahead, throw them in a camp. Yeah, that's where they belong. Throw them in a camp. But you think if you're wearing a red hat, you ain't going to get thrown in a camp? Once you allow somebody to throw someone else in a camp, man, it's only a matter of time for you're in a camp. And that's what I was saying about that shit that was going on a couple years ago, the Michelle Pfeiffer incident. It's like once you let someone make you tango with Michelle Pfeiffer, once you let them do that, you let them say that you have to do that, then you're only moments away from them telling you to get in the box. You're 65, Instead, now you do this incident over here, getting this in the chamber that sucks all the nitrogen out of your atmosphere. It's in the microcosm. It's Friday night. We're glad you're here. It's Revolution.radio. It's freeworld.fm. It's the Independent Broadcast Network. My name's Jimmy. I'm sitting here with Rock and Rio, Epic Journeyman, and we've been joined by the illustrious Billy Ray Valentine.
Love that. Let's keep that.
All right. Listen. Shit's out of control. And I noticed something, and we can talk about it when we come back after the break. See what you guys think about it. Because, I mean, at this point, it's just another log on the fire. You know, you used to have to search, you search the world over for stuff. But there's just stuff everywhere. It's all over the place. You know what I mean? It's unavoidable at this point. The information just keeps coming. You before you even can figure out what something is, there's already 3 other things that just happened that are 10 times even worse. I mean, you notice how quickly, I'm just saying, you notice how quickly shit drops off the news? Like, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about Maui, and 30 seconds after that, boom, and it's like a fucking ghost town. Same thing, North Carolina. Guess what, man? Shit's not okay in North Carolina. Not okay at all.
Not okay. Maui
it's
still.
Really, really not okay. And the thing is, hey, if no one talks about it, then it doesn't exist, I guess. You know? All right. It's time to get out. We'll be right back.
I don't know if you remember this, but I was out of town. Doing on the 3 a.m. just to show up and hear your sounds. Multiple times. Stop. Hit reset. You ain't heard it that way. I can guarantee you that. Cause I'll be the light when you can't see. I'll be the wood when you need heat. I'll be the generator, turn me on when you need electricity. So the shit start to go down. I'll be the one with the level head. We're working it now, baby, we'll be living in the walking dead. Cause I got supplies. Supplies. I got you, I got supplies. Supplies. Ain't no need to stopping, girl. Ain't nobody topic, girl. Ain't no better option, girl. Okay, ain't nobody stopping, girl. This here when I dropping, girl. I work when I clocking, girl. Okay, I'll be the light when you can't see. I'll be the wood when you need heat. I'll be the generator, turn me on when you need electricity. So the shit start to go down. I'll be the one with the level head. We're working it now, baby, we'll be living in the walking dead. Now I wanna know everything. Don't leave a single.
Listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. And we'll be right back after this message.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here.
If you're sick of the lies and ready to know thyself, to love thyself, well then tune in to the Loveolution with your hosts, Amy and John Paul, where we speak all about truth, love, and freedom every Tuesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on Revolution Radio. And remember, only you can free your mind control. Be a Loveolutionary.
Welcome to Coffee Rants with Dan. I am the spiritual anarchist, Dan Arnold, your host. Tune in for what's really happening every Thursday. That's Thursday at 9 a.m. in Studio A on Revolution Radio. They keep us in fear to manipulate us. They want us ignorant so we're easier to enslave. They make us murder one another so they don't have to do it themselves. Only you can break their mind control by healing the contradictions within your belief systems that allow you to accept their lies in the first place. The time has come for us to remember our divinity, who we really are, to return to what we are meant to be, a service to others, to return to nature, and to reclaim our birthright, that which is freedom. The truth will sound belligerent because it is in direct opposition to lies. So get angry, because anger is sacred, and together we can unite and rise. Rise from this darkness. Humanity, assemble.
Do you love topics about history, world events, popular conspiracies, and everything under the sun, while discussing their historical context? Then welcome your host, Trinity, where no topic is off the table, truth is spoken to power, and where your voice can be heard. Here is where you can communicate openly and learn from one another, while respecting our diverse society and figuring out the truth to where we're heading. Join Trinity in a 2-hour roller coaster ride of research, comedy, and interesting content. Made with you in mind, people that matter the most. On Mondays at 12 a.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. Central, only on Revolution Radio Studio B. Be a part of a different way to hear radio.
Check in every Thursday night for the Crypt Rick and Jonathan Show. Studio A, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here at the #1 listener-supported radio station, Revolution Radio.
I want to thank everybody for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
Costco shoppers say this military hiking stick is
information never sleeps. Revolution Radio.
All right, let's show them what we got.
All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
Friday night. Revolution.radio, it's freeworld.fm. It's the Independent Broadcast Network. Mine's Jimmy, sitting here with Rock and Rio, the Epic Journeyman, and we've been joined by the illustrious Billy Ray Valentine. All right, so we were talking about the obvious situation. You can't not talk about the elephant in the room now, can you? I guess not. So, I noticed this thing, Epic Journeyman, about the space station, and it's not in good shape. You know, it looks like they may have to evacuate. Epic Journeyman, are you there? He has faded into the night.
I had to flip my mic down. No, I am here, and it's a trip, man. There was a psychotic dude on the Russian section of the space station who was trapped up there for like a year, And if we could look up his name and everything, but what he started doing is he started taking his fingernail and scratching away at the bulkhead in his cot, basically where he sleeps, and he scratched through the actual superstructure because it's just made out of whatever material you use, plastic and fiberglass or whatever, because it's lightweight, and so it's a leak to space, right? It leaks into the space station through this guy's berthing area, but it finally got him off of there. And it's still there, right? So there's this whole thing where there's a leak in the space station. And you'd think after all this time that would be fixed, right? Like throw some silly putty on it or something. But no, there's more of those holes. Like the first one, I guess, I don't think he actually started the hole. I think it was like a piece of like a micro meteor or something. He hit it. He just kept scratching at it. But you can see pictures of it. It's like this. It's just like it's a pretty big hole, man. It's like big enough to put your finger into. And there's another one right next to it of him just scratching through that like obsessively. Like I want to go home, and he's scratching through there because he was going psychotic. Basically, is what the rumor is. I don't know if that's true, but that's how they play it off, right? Like it's just psycho dude.
So right? if it's true that they say space is a vacuum, wouldn't that suck all the air out of the station? Wouldn't they all be dead already?
Yeah. There's a vacuum of space, right? Like it should suck everybody through the hole. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like it's a.
Well, I mean, the space station isn't actually in outer space; it's in low Earth orbit. But
low Earth orbit, yeah, it's
100 miles. But still, would not the air become really, really thin and be impossible to breathe at that point?
Well, so supposedly what's happened is they move everybody to the American side, and they don't go into that side anymore. So you only have half of the International Space Station to work in. It's only that half, right? And whenever they do something on that side of the space station, the rest of the crew has to stand by the evacuation hatch to seal themselves out and drop the airlock, droid style from Star Wars or whatever, to evacuate potentially. It's a sketchy situation. And the thing is, like, so I'm still haven't figured out how they are able to get away with having it there in the first place. And apparently, maybe it's like a double bulkhead kind of situation where they have the outer shell, the space station. There's an inner shell, and because this guy scratched the inner shell away, it means the outer shell is compromised, right? So that's what the issue is. And it's just this little hole, right? But it's not that little. Like it's the size you could put your finger in it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to equalize at some point, right?
Yeah. So just don't let anybody in there.
That's a brilliant plan for a multi-billion-dollar space station.
I know, right? Like there's this whole section.
We're not going to patch the hole. We'll just stay away from it.
Look, you got to remember this, right? Like how big the International Space Station looks.
Billy,
and it's International Space Station.
Get away from that hole.
Half of it you can't use.
Rio, stay away from that hole.
Stay away from that hole. Don't go near the hole.
Don't go near the hole, man.
You might get sucked in, man. You might get sucked into the hole.
Maybe that's the whole concept of the black hole. You just get near it and get sucked right in, and you're out the other side, and now you're on the white hole.
Damn.
You think there's a white hole, and there must be on the opposite side of the black hole.
There has to be.
Somewhere the universe is all white with black stars. You know what I'm saying? And you just go, now you're over there. Everything's the same. Oh, I didn't mean that in a racist way.
Oh, I was
in a yin yang way.
First thing, unfortunately, that came to my mind was the vulgarity of the pink hole. But
very nice, Rio.
Rio, you got a lot of class, brother.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Nice. I don't know.
Too bad it's all third.
It's not like me.
No, listen. So listen. This story bothered me because it reminded me back. I think, when did the original space station? Remember that little floating piece of junk that came down? When did that come down? You remember? Do you remember ever
from Skylab? It landed in Australia in 1979 or something, somewhere in there. I'd have to look it up.
Well, so when that other thing came down, they brought up these. No one had ever heard of it before. The Hopi prophecies. Have you guys heard of the Hopi prophecies?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The Hopi Indians.
Right.
The ant people, famous for the ant people.
Right. So listen. So they had said that when this, referenced in, language from the Hopi, the space station comes down, that America would wake up to war. And so this makes me, I mean, just because back when that happened, there really was no real war going on. There wasn't potential for it, really. There wasn't angst. But now there is. So the prophecy could fall into place and make sense now, today, here in our time.
It was July 11th, 1979.
Yeah, see?
Space lab crash.
So in
Dude, my memory might not be as bad as I thought it might be getting at some point. Yeah, that's my birthday too. Not 1979, but the date. So you wish me happy birthday next 7.
Happy birthday.
Right? No, next 7/11, right? It's July 11th.
I'm doing it ahead of time.
Thank you. Yeah, so I had it right, 1979. Yeah, it landed in Australia. So, yeah, it was big too. It was supposed to burn up. It was supposed to burn up in the atmosphere, right? That was the whole thing. Yeah, it's going to burn up in the atmosphere, and it didn't. It actually landed up.
It landed in somebody's backyard.
Yeah, and this thing's way bigger than it's modular. So keep tacking different modules on, including that Russian one. That Russian one, like I said, is half the space station. So half the space station you can't go in anymore because there's a big hole, sucking the air out. So just lock it out. So here we're getting more people going up there, more scientists. These poor astronauts got stranded up there for almost a year. And what is it? There's less space for them to be there and occupy in the first place. So the argument is they need to evacuate the place, which I think is correct. Yeah, screw it, man. You did a cool thing. Time to abandon ship, man. Just if you can't fix it, then go away.
Well, I was kind of more wondering, as Jimmy was going with the Hopi prophecy there, if 7/11 had some kind of numerological association.
It's
with
9. It's 9, right? Back to 9 again.
It is number 9 again.
Number 9.
You just can't stop it. It won't stop, and it don't stop. I
7/11, 1979.
I noticed this little pyramid on YouTube that showed up about a couple days ago, 3 days ago. And it's like a little warning sign. It's like an exclamation point inside of a pyramid sitting there. And when I'm doing something it doesn't like on YouTube, it turns yellow and gives me a warning. But until now...
Like something you say it doesn't like?
Whatever it doesn't like, it'll give a warning from there. It'll say, you're giving me a warning. But what I'm bringing it up is it's never... I've never noticed that symbol just sitting there next to the green light that says we're on the air. It's like it's waiting. It's almost like it's listening or something.
The AI is waiting for you to screw up, Jimmy.
It's because I played that.
Say something on the banned list.
Don't worry. Michelle Pfeiffer's not allowed to the party tonight. All right, listen. Are we going to open up these phones?
Sure, we can open up the phone.
Let's talk to the people.
All right, so Rio, go ahead and give out the number, and let's open up these phones and then continue this conversation. So, I mean, I'm just saying, at this point in the alternative media, even bringing something like this up is a clue that's the end of the world. I mean, you know what I mean? At this point, we're whipping a dead horse, man. We're throwing another log on the fire. You know what I mean? We're on a runaway train, man. You know what I mean? There's nothing anybody can do about any of this shit, is there?
Nope.
You know what I mean? All you got to do, I don't know. I mean, call me reckless. Say I'm a fool. But I'm just saying, all you can do at this point is make sure you and yours are all taken care of. And try to live each day and have a best day that you can that day. Do your best, wake up, be enthusiastic, you know what I mean? Go out in the world and do your thing, man.
Very nice. Very good attitude. It's exactly the way to do it, regardless of what goes down and who's doing what and who's winning and who's losing. Doesn't freaking matter.
Dude, seriously, when you're out there
at the end of the day, you got to do you.
When you're walking around in the world, all those people that got those earphones in, they ain't listening to alternative media. So there's a very small group of people that thinks there's an overwhelming amount of people that think the same way that they do.
Spot on.
But it's only because they're in a closed environment. And it's a feedback loop, right? So everybody thinks the same thing until you step outside of that, because like when I'm walking around in the world, people are excited about Thanksgiving's coming up and the weather's nice or whatever, man. People are having a burger whatever, you know what I mean? Going to get a taco. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what's going on around us. And, you know, we're in this, we're in what they call the danger zone. Because we're surrounded by danger constantly. And, you know, what does that do? That gets your adrenal glands pumping, keeps everything, you know, all this. You get this overload. You know, it's just like, wow, inflammation. Hey, thanks, independent thinker. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks. It's great.
Yeah. So
glad you're back too.
Yeah, good to see you. So yeah, Billy, you know, but I mean, you know, like I say, call me a fool or whatever, you know, but there's a bunch of people, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm kind of living, you know, I mean, you live in the city, so you got to have this sort of spatial awareness around just because you live in the city. You know what I mean? You got to kind of know who's, you know, what's around you, who's around you, this kind of thing. And so, I mean, on some level, it's like that. But, I mean, around here or around anywhere around in my life, I've never had to look over my shoulder. You know what I mean? I've never felt the need to wonder about some dude who's behind me. Like, if some guy's behind me, I'm not paying him no mind. But now, all of a sudden, I'm starting to feel weird about people being anywhere I can't see them. I don't want some weird dude behind me that I don't know. I mean, he looks normal. I saw a video of this dude, and he came in to this convenience store. He went over and got himself a soda. You know what I mean? And then he came over to the counter to pay for it, and he stood there, and he was about to pay for it. Everything looked completely normal. There was no aggressive movements at all until this moment where he just leans back and full on punches this little Asian woman in the face and knocks her down on the ground. And she's on the ground whimpering and crying and begging him not to kill her while he rips his money out of the cash register. You know? And I mean...
She was the proprietor?
She was just some chick working at the gas station.
Or working the counter, yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, she just happened to be Asian. You know, it wasn't like she was just some girl working at a store. I'm just saying, the thing that struck me about it, the only reason that it it's violent but why it resonated with me was the person who did it, the way they looked before they did.
So
it.
Casual, yeah, exactly.
Casual and normal, right?
That's what I mean.
Never suspect.
Exactly. Like if you were standing there, and you were just standing there, and you noticed the person, you would see them, and you wouldn't have felt threatened by their vibe. In other words, I'm saying you wouldn't have nutted up.
Stealth. Yeah.
They just were casual as fuck until they went boom. And I mean, that's fight or flight mode, isn't it? And that's what keeps those adrenal glands pumping. You know what I mean? That's what keeps your system on, overload. And then on top of it, you have this other stuff that goes on that's invisible. You can't even see it, and it's all around everybody. It's a soup. We're in it. Wireless technology is everywhere. No one will get rid of it.
It's one of those weird arguments that we get into as a society, because we look at wildlife. We look at the dolphins who have this. Every dolphin is carrying a loaded gun. Every dolphin can kill every other dolphin that's around, right? It has this ability to use the sonar pulse as a weapon. It stuns fish with it. It can use it on other dolphins, which are more sensitive because they have the melon to receive the sonar. It's part of their anatomy, right? So the argument has been proposed, and it has validity, right? That everyone should be required to carry a deadly weapon. Everyone should be required to have a gun, right? Now, that makes sense on a certain level, like, because then you say, well, if everybody's carrying a loaded gun around, which is what dolphins do, society is going to be more benign because everybody has the ability to shoot back, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the argument against that is what you're talking about, the manipulation of the psyche we've been talking about for years, right? The idea that all of a sudden that's just an army waiting to be harvested through propaganda, through mimetic engineering, through radio into the, not just radio, but the actual manipulation of brainwaves. Like a movie like The Kingsman, which is ridiculous sometimes to look at, but that's not too far off. Right? That's not too far off the kind of thing to be done at all. A whole segment of the population goes mad, right? Start shooting each other because they're prompted to do it. And they have no defense against it because they've never been taught that that's possible. There's no psychological defense for it. because it's never happened before. And all of a sudden, this idea of having everybody have a loaded gun just makes them an army, be manipulated, right? Yeah, it's a scary thought, man.
Well, you can always move up to Idaho.
Right? the Great American Redoubt. Yeah.
You can always, I mean, I'm just saying, if for some reason Trump doesn't win, he can always go over there and they can form like what was this? It was Idaho and what part of Washington?
Idaho, Eastern Oregon, and Montana. I think it was. Yeah, Montana or Wyoming.
Oh shit, Montana! You could go there and start a dental floss farm if you wanted.
And so you can do anything in Montana. There's like 14 people there.
I know. There's nothing.
Right.
What was it? Did you ever see that movie, The Dog Man?
I started watching it way back when. I never finished it.
It was that one dude with the strong jaw and the big teeth. I can't think of his name. Anyways, he shows up in this town, and for some reason, there's some woman scientist that's looking for these lost tribe of these dog men.
Right.
And so this dude is like the dude who knows all the shit about all the forests and all this, and so he's giving her a hand. But anyways, it's about this. There's this tribe of Indians, Native Americans that are living as they've always lived, and they don't even come out into society at all. And they go in there, and it's like that, and it's because the forest is so dark and deep up in there that there's nothing but forest in Montana, right? It's trees everywhere.
Forest and rocks, yeah. So Tom Berenger. I was trying to think of who you're talking about. Look at the cast.
Exactly.
Yeah. I saw. It actually looked like it might be a pretty decent movie.
It's a good movie, man. I watched it a couple times.
And we had it at the video store. It's one of those at the video store when I owned the video store with my uncle. Well, my uncle owned the video store. I just did the video games basically, but we ran the store. And the thing was that there's nothing to do. You just picked the movie off the shelf and watched it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was big into movies and got to know a lot about movies because of that. And after a while, there's a problem with owning the video store. And it's because if you own a video store, it's like being in Hollywood, same kind of thing in a way, lesser scale. There's only so many plots. There's only so many minutes to fulfill the entire design of the movie. At a certain point, you've seen them all. Even if you haven't seen it before, you've seen them all.
Exactly.
Which is why Pulp Fiction was so good, because it shook it up a little bit by knocking it out of order. It's just been done before, but it was done really well.
I agree, but what I want to talk about right now ain't the coffee in my kitchen.
Exactly.
Rock and Rio, what's that number? Where'd you go? He disappeared. He's like Houdini.
I had a lab coat on, man. There's more of that.
He's like Houdini.
Still.
He's here.
I'm right here.
He's here 1 minute. He's gone the next. Where did he go? Oh, wait. Houdini.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We hear you now.
Okay.
We do hear you. Thank you. Thank you for being here, man. We really appreciate you. I just want to say. You don't get to appreciate Rock and Rio. Now's your moment to appreciate him. Everybody appreciate him in the chat. Come on over into the Microcosm Jimmy Gene on YouTube.
Well, I wanted to mention something independent. If you appreciate the show, give us a thumbs up, right? That's the thing everybody says. But Independent Thinker says he sees 20 likes and 60 watchers. But I have it open on two computers here, and one says 2 likes, and the other one says 5.
Yeah, these numbers are skewed.
I got 18.
I got to appreciate YouTube math, right?
Refresh your computer, maybe.
No, I just did, and it still says 5.
I got 22 now.
You have 22? Mine still says 5.
All right.
I'll refresh the page. Let's see.
I got 60.
You can't. The thing is, you can't.
You got 60?
Well, there's 60 people here, but there's not 60 likes.
Oh, sorry. Hold
on. Yeah, still showing 5.
Yeah. So
I believe that. I got 9. People go ahead and like it. People don't do that. I don't do it.
The thing is, you can't ask people to like it because they don't know if they're gonna like it.
I can ask. Well, they do it or something else, but do it.
It's not a
whether
given.
you like it or not.
Like and subscribe.
Right.
It does train the algorithm. It does. Like that. That's how it works. It'll refer us to more people in a similar vein who are looking at other things if we have more likes.
Epic. I just retweeted something or reposted. Go look at it now. You need to look at this. No, I want your thoughts on it.
All right, I'll look it up. Hold on.
You retweeted.
Reposted something. I don't think you follow me, Rio, but if you do, you can go check it out too.
No, I don't follow anybody on Twitter. I probably don't follow you.
I don't follow nobody, man.
Although I have posted once on Twitter back in, I don't know, 2009 or whatever, when it first came out. And I amazingly have a whole bunch of followers. I have no idea why. The only thing I posted was tweet. Once. 15 years ago.
How many followers do you have, man?
Let me see.
Got 445, I think.
I don't even know where to find that.
You click on your icon. Yeah.
I have 28 followers.
I have good ones. I got to say though, like I'm not going to read it off for you, but it's pretty good, man.
Yeah, you don't have to read it off.
Well, the redheaded libertarian follows me. I have no idea who that is, but
no.
So check it out. So I'm trying to look at Billy Ray's post, which who I follow, right? And I'm wading through the algorithm, and I got like 50 things ahead of him, so I have to look on search.
Well, you know what, man? This sounds like golf. You know,
I know,
he's
right?
Sitting there, he's coming up to the green.
This
looks like he's
Light is following me too.
Yeah, well, listen, if your green light is on your phone, it means your microphone or your camera is on. It means somebody could be spying on you.
Yeah, man.
They're spying.
Oh! Who's that I see walking in these woods? Why, it's Little Red Riding Hood. Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood. You sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want.
Rock and Rio, give out that phone number.
718-618-9905.
718-618-9905. 718-618-9905 is the number to call. Give us a call. Let us know what you think.
What big eyes you have, the kind of eyes that drive wolves mad. So just to see that you don't get chased, I think I ought to walk with you for a ways. What full lips you have, they're sure to lure someone.
There's Sam the Sham and the
Pharaohs.
And the Pharaohs. That's right. Yeah, you got to forge out, man. You got to be a lone wolf in the jungle, man.
I always like that song.
There are no wolves.
That's a good song. I like that song, actually.
There are no wolves in the jungle, are there?
No, there's not. It's true.
Just like there are no snakes in Hawaii. Same thing.
Nope.
The talk is cheap when the story is good, man.
I'll tell you what.
Pizza.
Let me just say, man, it's raining. And in Northern California, it rains every year by Halloween. And believe it or not, it rained unexpectedly yesterday in the morning. No, the day before yesterday. So it's still, every year since I've been living here, it's rained by Halloween. And now it's raining again in Northern California. It's revolution.radio, fully listened, supported. Come on down, become supporters. Patreon, you can do like a donation, one-time donation, or you can do like a monthly, whatever you can do. If you can't do that, share around, tell people about it. Maybe they'll pop in and have something that they can, do. You never know. That's how it's done around, pass it around. If you like it, if you, like I say, it's 2 studios, Studio A, Studio B, 48 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's something for you, and that's the way it's been for 13 long, hard years, and still here, still standing strong, and you know what I'm saying. So if you haven't, you could, then do, and if you can, do. If you haven't, please do.
Keep my sheep suit on till I'm sure that you've been shown that I can be trusted walking with you alone.
He's going to put his sheep suit on so he can be trusted walking with Little Red Riding Hood alone. Just the oozing.
Somebody anonymous just called, but I cannot add you to the call if you're anonymous. They will not. Skype will not allow that. So you have to call back from a regular number.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, that's the way it goes, I guess. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
I was looking for Billy's
I tagged you on it now.
Is it the one with the microphone incident?
Yep.
Yeah, dude, yeah. So, yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
I mean, I don't know the context. I don't have any context. But
so the mic failed at a rally, and Trump just went amok on the rally. But he started doing this whole thing with
I
his
saw
mannerisms.
that like 2 weeks
how
ago.
he describe his mannerisms, but I don't know how to describe it politely.
Yeah, he's talking about Arnold Palmer's cock.
No, he does this thing. He does this thing with his head on the mic stand.
He's simulating oral sex.
Yeah.
At least it would appear.
Well, was he talking about Arnold Palmer? That's what I'm curious about.
No. Ironically, no. That'd make it worse. Actually,
that at least would have made sense to me.
He
what he's doing. If he was talking about Arnold Palmer.
It's like, can you hear me now? That's one thing. Ask for Mike, and then he goes into this whole head bobbing thing on the mic stand.
That's what I'm saying.
Really freaking weird, man.
But was he
not only that? He was stroking the mic.
Yeah, no, it is. It's legit, too. It is like, yeah, I haven't seen that one. Like in these last couple of days. I mean, and going the next couple of days beyond this, there's going to be all kinds of weird stuff. Some of it's going to be real. Some of it's going to be AI. We don't know.
This wasn't AI.
It's not real.
No, it doesn't look. It doesn't look like it is.
This was not AI. This is being reported by major outlets
that were there at the scene. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know what it is, but it wasn't AI. I don't know. I don't have context behind it or anything. But
listen, I don't know how many hours of fucking discussion we've had about his background. And I mean, there are so many fucking pictures. Excuse my language. So many pictures of him with Diddy and stuff,
and Epstein,
and all this. I mean,
this came out today. Have a 100-hour conversation of frickin' Epstein talking about him in the White House.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
I know.
Yeah,
it's like,
and the people are saying, no, that must be AI. It can't be real. It's like,
incredible.
No, dude.
Incredible.
There's 75 pictures of before AI ever we knew existed, that are out there in the public domain. He's flew on the plane 7 times we know of, and he's like deep in this stuff, right? He's like Epstein's main man. Yeah, I don't get it, yeah, people want to believe what they want to believe.
Look at his wife got pushed down the stairs.
She got murdered, dude, and he killed Epstein. Absolutely, that's allegedly. But that's I buy into that. I think.
You
that
mean
makes
if you were writing
sense.
a fictional story about a fictional guy who is running for president?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you're writing the story for
and he
Columbo,
had a wife, an ex-wife that used to go around with Maxwell and find good-looking girls that might want to be models. Really or actresses.
The Bond girl.
That's how they come up. They come up to people and they go, wow, you really have a look. And they jump out of these limos. You really have a look.
And take that big mansion up there in New York.
Here's my business card. Listen, we have a really great world-renowned photographer up here at the mansion. Maybe you could get your parents and come on up here. We'd really like to, You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's all testified. I won't say all testified. A bunch of them testified about this too. It's not like this is some big secret, I mean, this is a well-documented thing, and the 13-year-old girl, I mean, that's a whole other thing, and it's like, there's a video supposedly, and that I wouldn't be surprised that comes out, and that might be AI when it comes out. I don't know. We don't know, right? But you can expect that kind of thing. But the problem is, why are we in this situation?
I want to eject, man.
Yeah, I think we all do. Like, but where are we stuck with these non-choices?
You know what, man? A long time ago, when Alex Jones was first gearing up, like when he was on actual radio stations a lot, and he really wasn't on his internet presence. There was no internet, really, at that time. Anyways, I forgot I was going to tell you. Never mind.
Kyle in the chat says, I think everyone here would agree. I don't think Jimmy knows, and it went away, of course. I don't think Jimmy knows how important a place like his show is. I thought that was pretty cool.
Hey,
What's up, Kyle? How you doing?
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle.
I was going to say something about Jones, because he's done all these police state videos back in the day, but before he was big. This is when Aaron Dykes was still there. It was him and Aaron Dykes and Melissa.
Yeah,
it was before Melissa even though. I mean, Aaron Dykes. Aaron Dykes was there with him making movies for a long time, editing his movies together and all that. And then she came on board, and then him and her got together, and that's a really great channel, True Stream Media. If you guys want to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's super great material. They're great people. I mean, people you can trust for sure. You ever had?
Remember Leanne McAdoo?
Yeah.
She was gorgeous.
Oh, she was? I didn't know.
I thought so.
I never really seen her. I heard her on this show. I don't tune into Jones, man. I listen for like 15 minutes at 9 o'clock to see what the what the issue is or whatever, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So most of what I heard today was before the Steve Bannon came on, and he was trying to make the nine guns thing okay or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's just
not okay.
Just saying, just saying something like that. It's just like saying anything, like it's hotter than hell, or, I mean,
these people will say anything, and people believe it. This is I think that's my biggest. I can't wait till all of this is over for real. Like, I just can't wait. Even if Trump is president, let's just get it over with, right? Let's go over Niagara Falls without, on a freaking rickety old boat. Let's just
barrel.
Do it.
Yeah, the barrel, but not the full barrel, like the barrel with the
right. Let's just freaking do
suspenders, right?
And get this all over with. But I think what makes me more disappointed and triggers me more than anything else is the willingness of so many Americans to go along with this nonsense, and it's visible hypocrisy. It's visible con man. It's not hard to decipher. Just sit there and look at them for a little while, but people turn the blind eye and try to justify, and I just don't. It makes me lose faith in people because I don't get it. And I lack the capacity to understand because I feel like people are better than this, but apparently not. So that's what gets me more than anything else. That people are just like, oh yeah, it's fine that he was hanging with Epstein. No problem that he wants to turn the military against us. No problem. Pick a freaking issue.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't care. We got an extra $5,000 in our paycheck,
which actually was approved by the Democratic Congress, by the way. And Biden continued. And the thing that bothers me the most is we're the number one economy in the world. We're the best economy in the world. We have the lowest inflation under the pandemic in the world, 2.5%. We have the $85,000 GDP for the average person, the highest of any nation on the planet. And yet that's not good enough for people. We're a bunch of spoiled brats. We're like a bunch of little kids who didn't get their toy for Christmas and just want to say, burn it all down because they didn't get G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. Screw you people if you don't know what you got. You know what I mean?
The mind control is strong. This is straight out of the government. We've gone through this before. Jimmy knows all about this. All you gentlemen know all about this.
It's military grade cognitive warfare.
Military grade mind control.
No. It's not mind control or psychological.
It absolutely is.
No.
Go ahead.
Hang on a second. Mm-hmm. Billy, you have to differentiate between psychological operations and cognitive warfare are two different things.
All of that stuff is mind control. If you bottom line it, it's mind control.
You're right. I guess ultimately, bottom line it is, but cognitive warfare can keep you locked into a position.
Right.
And that's what's happened is everyone's gotten locked into whatever filter bubble we sit in.
Yeah.
We got locked into our position. And for some reason, people that want to stay in the middle and observe both things and comment on it, for some reason there's no middle. The middle has been eliminated, and it's not okay to be in the middle.
It's not. You get destroyed over it.
Right, because if you're not
real, right? That's like the story of our lives at this point.
Right, because if you're not playing the same tune as somebody else, if you're not with us, you must be against us.
Because it happened here in the chat several times. I'm not going to name any names, but several people. Oh, so why aren't you talking about the left? Why the left? Immediately, it's just a trigger. Boom! It goes straight down that way. You know, and I think you're absolutely right, man. It's just being in the middle certainly doesn't pay anything, but it it makes you a target in a lot of ways, man. Especially by the alternative media talks about free speech so much, but you start talking about and criticizing the MAGA, or the right, then they shut you down ASAP. You don't have the right to talk about that because people get upset and people get sensitive.
What kind of an American are you?
Right.
States have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens?
It's Friday night, Saturday morning. Mom's Jimmy. 718-618-9905. Some people, they've had enough and they just want to relax, man. They just wanted to be left alone, like Rambo. (718) 618-9905 is the number to call.
Give blood, but you may find that blood is not enough. Give blood, and there are some who say it's not enough. Give blood, but don't expect to ever see real war. Give blood, you can give it all, but still you ask for more.
Yeah, the alternative media has definitely changed since the original group who started it all. I remember what I was going to tell you is back in the day when Alex Jones was first getting started, and he had Prison Planet, and I used to be all pissed off because he called it Prison Planet. I was like, man, why are you calling it Prison Planet? It's gonna make people think it's ridiculous. No one's gonna pay attention to that. Why would you call it that? But all these years later, you know what? It is a prison planet, isn't it? At this point, I mean, you can't make a move. You got your listening device next to you there. I was doing some research on figuring out whether or not my phone was being, tacked by somebody, And there's some simple things you can do. You can just go on. I'm not going to point you out the video. Just type it in on, YouTube. There's a million people doing it. But there's this really one interesting one that I thought was, something of note, and that was there's been this idea put out there that if you have someone's cell phone number, that you could put it in some website and you'll be able to position that phone and know where it is, precisely the address. And so
for $60.
Yeah, well, don't do it.
Find anybody in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, well, don't. Yeah, that's what they say. But this dude went on and did 3 of the top websites that had these thing where you put the phone number in. And the first one was you joined it for 89 cents. It costs 89 cents. So most people just see it's 89 cents and they just sign up. But in the contract where you say, I agree, in the contract, it says that your card will be charged $49.95 right away for the next month if you don't cancel 24 hours before the end of your period. But your period is only 24 hours long. So they're going to charge your card $49 regardless. Right? And so the guy sends him an email, and he waited 3 weeks. He never got an answer. He said, how do I, and he went to, like I say, he went to the top 3. He went to the top 3, and the other 2 of the top 3 had this thing that you had to download some app onto your phone in order to use the service, which is, you don't ever want to download one of those apps onto your phone, just in case you didn't know that. No matter for whatever reason, I don't know why people would want to find somebody, but if you're just trying to find somebody, just why don't you just ask the question or whatever. Instead of being
move you make, every breath you take. No, totally. Stalkers, man. It's just stalkers. That's what it is. Well, say what it is, because that's what it is. The people who do that are stalkers.
We talked on
almost period, like 80-90%.
We talked on the show about these new augmented reality glasses and these new Ray-Bans that have come out, and these guys hacked these glasses, and they put it so if they eyeballed you, all your information would come up, all your social media, all your whatever. And just thinking about the power of that, like especially like if you're sitting on the boardwalk or whatever with tarot cards or whatever, you're just sitting there like, I'm a psychic, come on down or whatever, and the people sit down and you're just going, oh, do you play tennis? Yes, you look like a tennis player. Right. Wow. You know how easy.
See, your backhand was weak. yeah, no, exactly. It is a con game, right? And so is the whole thing. Gets you to sign up for that.
Did you break your arm in 3rd grade when you fell off that bicycle?
No, but I did in 4th.
Wow. Now it's the CNP. I saw S90. I didn't mention it earlier, but that's why. This is why the drum beat's the same across the plane of the alternative media. And so anybody that has a viewpoint outside of that will get hammered. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're not on the company tip or whatever, then there's talking points. Remember Bill O'Reilly? He had that part on this thing called talking points. Yeah,
points. Yeah,
talking
points memo. They left talkingpointsmemo.com because of that. They expounded that whole thing. Which is ironic because it works both ways.
I know. Well, here's the other thing is that they have another thing called the spin room. Okay, talking points, the spin room, the narrative. It's right in front of our face. What movies has things to do in Denver when you're dead? And Christopher Walken goes, you might as well just spit a loogie right in my face. Or whatever. That's what that's like right there, isn't it? It's right there. Spin room, talking points. Well, there's talking points in the alternative media too, right? Just like I said, I listened to 15 minutes of Alex Jones, and see, I talked about it. So he inadvertently gave me talking points, didn't he? Even though I
think what.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead, man.
Well, no, I think what happened is that the alternative media became successful. When it became successful, it became an opportunity for the people who are like the people behind the spin room and talking points to hijack it, and use it as a propagation platform for what they wanted, their agenda they wanted to fulfill. And they offered people a ton of money. That's what happened to Tim Pool, right? That's what happened to Benny Johnson. All these people got bought out by the Russians. That's what happened to a number of people. I won't name any names. They might be listening of some people in alternative media, but they did it too. They did it too. They took the money and ran. They bought in. They sold out. They bought in and sold out. That's the term I'll use.
There's snake venom in the water. There's snake venom in the water.
Snake venom in the water, Jimmy.
Watch the water. Watch the water, man. Watch the water. The dude.
Plastics.
Dude, he freaking swatted himself to get promotion for that video. You're not going to hold me down, man. You're not going to keep me down. Who's going to get out? Him and Dr. Judy or whatever. Sorry, I just said some of their names. Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. Right? You know? But there they did it.
There was some other thing, too. Some other woman and her husband or something.
Yeah. No, exactly. No, we know who they are. And it's what are you going to do, man? I mean, so can you blame them in a sense during the pandemic, right? We got to bring that up because there was a situation where people were locked out at home and they didn't have jobs they could go to. There wasn't opportunities for them. They seized on this opportunity. They were offered money to do it, and they did it, right? So is selling out, at what point is selling out bad, right? When you're selling out against your own ethics, then it's bad. You're selling out when it promotes things that do harm to people, then it's bad. And I can argue the case that the people I'm talking about did exactly that. They did sell out against their ethics, and they did do bad things and harm people. So that's what makes it bad.
Well,
but the other people who did it just because they got the extra couple bucks, who can blame them?
There's a big hack, man, and the library was hacked, and stuff was erased. Statements people made and all this where they were held liable. Because there's all kinds of stuff going on with the Michelle Pfeiffer incident, and people are having to pay, and now Congress is passing something where they got to pay. I saw earlier today. It's into the microcosm. It's Saturday night. We're glad you've chosen to be with us. And 718-618-9905 is the number to call if you want to get in touch with us and let us know what you're thinking about what's coming up, what's going on. We got 5 more days. I don't know what happened with gold and silver. I'll look on the break. We are coming up on the break, so just want to remind you, freeworld.fm, the Independent Broadcast Network, and revolution.radio is our flagship. We've been up in here for a bit, and we're happy to still be here, and we'd like to remind you that the fully listener supported, so you got to come on down and become supporters. Just imagine we got like a guitar case sitting up there, and you can throw us $1 or whatever in there. They add up $1 at a time. We stay on the air, and we're doing it for 13 years straight. It's the house that Nighthawk built. Mine's Jimmy. It's into the microcosm. We're gonna be right back. 718-618.
The All-Stars.
What's that?
The band.
Yeah.
Your construction smells of corruption. I manipulates to recreate. This air to go around saga. Gotta launder my karma. Gotta launder my karma.
I said hallelujah to the 16th loyal
718-618-9905 is the number to call. Mine's Jimmy. It's Into the Microcosm. We're going to be right back.
Welcome to my breakdown. I hope I didn't scare you. That's just the way we are when we come down.
Listening to Revolution Radio.
Are you interested in the paranormal, murder mystery, real natural law? You enjoy interviews with amazing guests? Then join Crypt Rick every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Revolution Radio. Studio A, freedomslips.com. Crypt Rick's iPhone thinking. Welcome to the Crypt.
It is no secret that the so-called mainstream media is best described as controlled propaganda. Countless news stories are either totally ignored or spun with half-truths, and because of this, essential facts and vital information are often compromised. Join Dr. Ott every Friday night on Studio B at 10 p.m. Eastern and learn why The Story Behind the Story was nominated for a Peabody Award in its second year of producing unparalleled broadcasting excellence in 1997. That is, if you really care about learning the truth.
you love topics about history, world events, popular conspiracies, and everything under the sun, while discussing their historical context? Then welcome your host, Trinity, where no topic is off the table, truth is spoken to power, and where your voice can be heard. Here is where you can communicate openly and learn from one another, while respecting our diverse society and figuring out the truth to where we're heading. Join Trinity in a 2-hour roller coaster ride of research, comedy, and interesting content. Made with you in mind, people that matter the most. On Mondays at 12 a.m. Eastern and 11 p.m. Central, only on Revolution Radio Studio B. Be a part of a different way to hear radio.
If you're sick of the lies and ready to know thyself, to love thyself, well then tune in to the Loveolution with your hosts, Amy and John Paul, where we speak all about truth, love, and freedom every Tuesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Studio A, right here on the Revolution Radio. And remember, only you can free your mind control. Be a Loveolutionary.
Interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this important broadcasting announcement. Now is the time to explore your greatest potential, embracing truth, health, and wellness while discarding the system and exposing its corruption. Experience true freedom every Saturday night between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from Studio B. It's the Jonathan Wright Show. Find it right here at revolution.radio.
We're an anarcho-syndicalist commune. We take it in turns to act as a sort of executive officer for the week. Yes. But all the decisions of that officer have to be ratified at a special bi-weekly meeting. Yes, I see. By a civil majority in the case of purely internal affairs. Be quiet. But by a 2/3 majority in the case of more... Be quiet. I order you to be quiet. Look, you stupid bastard, you've got no arms left. Yes, I have. Look! It's just a flesh wound.
I don't believe I've seen such a display of courage, skill, nerve, grace, and stupidity.
I'll do you for that. Oh, what? Come here. What are you going to do, bleed on me? I'm invincible. You're a loony. The Black Knight always triumphs.
Roundtable Live, Monday through Friday, 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Bring your mind, bring your ideas, bring your voice. King Arthur had nothing on us here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. All right, thanks for listening. We'll let you take a short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
The Plimsolls. What the F's going on around here? I don't want to see the code, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy around here.
Turn the frogs gay, Jimmy.
Welcome back. What do you say there? Rock and Rio.
Sit there, turn the frogs gay, Jimmy.
It's all too much, like we keep saying. Hey, Pac Woman, good to see you. Amber Coles, good to see you. Epic Journeyman, good to see you. Mike Mont, good to see you. Karen Carpenter, S90, who else is over here? Scott, great to see you. Karen, everybody's over here. Come on over into the Microcosm Jimmy Jean chat room's going live over here. So if you want to join us, and don't forget Revolution Radio is fully listener supported. Billy Ray Valentine, you still there? Still awake? You watching the East Coast? Got your eye on the prize, on the apple?
I'm trying to take care of both sides here because, Epic is very unreliable when it comes to taking care of his side. So, not Epic. I'm sorry, Rio. Epic is very reliable.
What am I doing? Now, what do you mean I'm unreliable?
Well,
We got this all.
Epic's
You're
on
wearing
an
black
island.
shoes for one. That's against code. So we need to get it all straightened out over there. But I'm doing my best for you over here, Jimmy. I'm trying to straighten things out.
Why don't you send Rio a pair of kicks, man? I'm sure you got the connections, the dudes, know where the kicks are that you just get a free pair.
I do, but you kind of got to earn those, And Rio hasn't sent me.
You got to go into courts.
He hasn't sent me over any of those sweet cars that he's putting together over there. He hasn't said, "Hey, Billy, listen, you can hold on to one of these cars. Listen, I got like 8 of them over here. Let me give you one since you're so damn cool." So
go for the McLaren, Billy.
I don't own the Billy, or I'd give you one, but But,
wow, he'd give you one.
If you come in dressed up like a pimp, we have a nice Ferrari over here. You could probably take the test.
Dope. I'm gonna take you up on that.
You should just go over there.
Go to the Goodwill tomorrow and pick up some clothes.
You ought to just go over there and take some shots in one of these cars, man.
Right. It'd be dope.
And you could just have yourself kicking it,
How about, Billy, actually, we have a nice a 67 XKE. Or a E-Type, rather.
Has it got a V8 in it?
Yeah, no, 12.
Interesting.
That's why it's in the shop.
They used to sit there.
No, it's done.
People used to
That's
sit.
Jaguars too, right? Jaguars had the 12-cylinder right back in the day, the old ones.
People used
to. The old ones.
Yeah, this car is pristine, dude. Absolutely 100% gorgeous. And it could be yours for only $295,000.
All it takes is some white kicks.
Well, I would say go down there. You got to go down there and take
some uptowns for the car. That'll work.
You got to go down there and take some promo shots around these cars, man.
That's a good idea, man. It is.
I know. Well, I know.
Yeah,
well,
Billy,
if you're
come over to shop anytime you want, man.
Yeah, man. All seriousness, I got to get up there at some point, bro. I will.
You definitely got to come check us out, man.
Well, here's the thing, man. In the alternative media, you can't look like you have a nice car. Because if you're sitting there in that car, people are going to say you took some money.
You sold out. You sold out. Right. Exactly.
People used to say even if you had a cell phone, there was something wrong with you.
Sold
you can't
out,
be
cashed
trusted.
in, man.
You can't be trusted if you had a cell phone.
Look at Rio riding around in that Ferrari.
I'll
definitely taking money from the New World Order. He's definitely taking money from the Democrats.
Drive the Jag.
It's a Schwab-mobile.
To be honest.
Yo, he's associated with the Clinton Foundation for sure.
Well,
look
Rio,
at the money look at the car he's driving around.
Rio was my handler before Epic joined the show. And then
I was driving around a Cadillac yesterday.
I only have a car recently, actually. I have one on the Big Island, but here I drive the company truck, right?
I don't even own a car. I don't own a car.
But yeah, you're in New York. You don't need one. Yeah, that's just
I have
true.
a bike.
My cousins live there. They don't.
Billy, I have a beautiful 61 Mercedes we could put you into.
I'm down, bro. I'm actually gonna get gonna buy a car soon. I'll need your help on that because I don't know a damn thing about it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Well, that ain't what Rio's driving. Rio's got himself a new car.
Yeah, it smells nice.
That's right. Fresh leather.
Fresh leather. Is that what you said?
Yeah, fresh leather. I love the smell of fresh leather.
Fine Corinthian leather.
Corinthian leather.
Hey, listen. I was going to tell you guys, they used to take those old Jags and drop 350s in them.
That's a crying shame.
They fit in there. No, I mean, you used to be able to buy
They're smaller than what's in there.
Listen, the thing is if you own a Jag, go get it worked on. Okay, how much does it cost to work on a Jag? English.
In my place, it's $150 an hour.
See? Well, We used to be able to buy those things for a couple of grand. They were leaking oil and shit. You just get rid of the motor and put the 350 in there, man, and roll. You know? Lean back, bro.
Give me a little love and then she got to go home.
718-618-9905. What's up with these phones, man?
Well,
all of a sudden we don't get no calls.
Somebody tried calling in before, but I cannot merge an anonymous phone call for some reason into the group calls. I could answer it and talk to them on the side, but I can't join them into our call.
Well, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right. So listen.
So if you're the anonymous caller, try calling back from another number.
The one person who's going to call in out of the 8 billion people on Earth.
It's probably Hijacker.
Out of the 8 billion people on Earth, one person wants to call into the microcosm. Got to feel good about that. You know, I mean, at least there's one.
Right, we're doing our thing. We're moving in the right direction.
I'm just saying, man, how many logs can you throw in the fire at this point? I'm just saying, back in the day, there was like only a few logs out floating around. Now there's just so many logs. There's like, whatever show there was, whatever topic there has been, people have gotten like the topic in general, and then now there's smaller microcosmic topics within a topic, and it's like, you know, there's a show about everything. Literally, I mean, I go on YouTube right now and just type in anything. I'll do it, but I can't talk and do it at the same time. But just type in anything, how to something or whether. Well, listen, the reason it's important is because in the future, if you want to start a business, in the future, the AI search is going to give high priority to anything that says how to. Anything that says how to is going to get high priority. So, you know, revolve your marketing campaigns around something that says how to, like on your website. Like start a howtowhatever.com or .tv.
Howtobutterbread.com.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've watched enough of these videos where it's just the way that the way people sell thousands of dollars worth of shit is they come up with something, the top 10 best reasons why you gotta blah, blah, blah. You know, and people see that and they click on it. And then there's all these reasons. They just put some bullshit thing together where people are interested in that for some reason. They look at something. There's a way to decide, like, what's trending. And then somebody writes, you know, they see changing tires is trending for some reason across the planet. So they make this thing. The top 10 secrets of changing tires. And all of a sudden people start clicking on that. And then they read the top 10. And then in there is something that the guy's selling that has something to do with, look at this amazing tire pump. It'll fill your tire in 20 seconds flat. Get it? Flat. Yeah. See? Nobody fucks with the frog song. Listen.
Yeah.
You see how easy that shit is? I'm just saying, man, you know, this is how people are sitting back. You see these people and they're going, look at this, man. They're getting these FedExes and they're opening the shit up and there's like $100 bills and stacks. Look at this stuff coming in the mail. You know, I get this every month. Where's it coming from?
Tiny newspaper ads.
No, I'm just saying.
Remember that guy?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, where are all these stacks of $100 bills come to these people in these envelopes? Where are people? There's somebody somewhere that's stuffing an envelope full of $100 bills and sending it to a guy. You know what I'm saying? What's going on there?
I don't know, but I wish somebody would stuff an envelope and send me one.
I wish somebody would send me a car.
Well, you get guess what? He'll tell you how to do it for free. All you got to do is click on that link right there.
That's right, man. I once lived in a patron.
Well, you got to send him $100 bill for him to tell you how to collect the $100 bill.
Exactly.
All you got to do, send me. I'll tell you how I did it.
$100. That used to be. There used to be in the back of newspapers. There used to be this ad that said, I forget what it was. It was like something about send me $1. No, stuff. And the ad was stuff envelopes, make thousands weekly, and send me $1. And then you send the guy $1, he send you a flyer back that says, put an ad in the paper, says, make thousands stuffing envelopes weekly. That was your $1.
Yeah,
You got
that was
$1.
the newspaper apartment guy, or tiny apartment painter guy. Yeah, he ended up committing suicide. Actually, that guy. That's why you don't see those commercials anymore. So maybe he did something else wrong. I don't know, but that's how free and open the world of advertising has and always been in America. And freedom of speech, man, you can do it.
There used to be a book called The Lazy Man's Way to Riches. You could buy it for like $9.95. It's in the back of those Weekly World News or National Enquirer.
Oh, Weekly World News is a whole show on that guy.
I know.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We
Maybe
did one, actually, I think.
Well, maybe we should do another one tomorrow night. Don't forget.
Hey, Bat Boy. We got to bring back Bat Boy.
Now,
bring back Bat Boy. That's my whole thing now. Bring him back.
You guys were talking about Paul McCartney last week.
Yeah.
We were.
I know. So what's up with that? Now, are you guys going to do audio analysis? Or what?
That was the plan. There's a show on right now doing the same thing. And I'm just perplexed how in the world that happened.
Well, I told you, man, you never say what the show's going to be about next week ahead of time.
But we didn't. We were talking about it after the show last week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even weirder.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing Paul McCartney freaking things, man.
Why? He's about to
Leave
die?
Paul McCartney alone.
He's about to die. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think
Leave
you're
him
right.
alone, bro. He's a freaking
Paul
genius.
McCartney's been dead for 40 years, dude.
Nobody.
Well, no. It's him and Britney. You got to leave him alone, man.
50 years.
Man,
Paul at
listen,
50 days,
listen,
years.
a lot of these songs, a lot of these artists and all this, most people don't even know who they are. Like, I got this guy where I work, he looks just like Magnum P.I. And he was Magnum P.I. for Halloween. You know what I mean?
Got the short shorts, mustache.
But nobody, no young people even know who Magnum P.I. even is.
That was like 1982, bro.
Dude, 40 years ago. I know.
I don't think I'd be able to recognize if he was walking around with a Magnum PI costume. I'm like, who the fuck are you supposed to be?
That's
I
what I
don't think I
mean.
would get it.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know the irony of that? Actually, is that if you did Higgins with the cotton balls in your cheeks to make that sad dog look, and you had Apollo and Zeus, the two Dobermans with you, people would know exactly who that was. You had to wear the Bridge on the River Kwai outfit. Every time people would know who you were. They would know if they ever saw Magnum PI.
Sounds like
dressed as Magnum PI right now, you probably wouldn't be recognized.
Sounds like you've dressed up like Higgins before. But listen, but anyway.
No, actually.
No, but the
That's his
point,
daily attire in the jungle.
the point of my ramblings was.
And listen to the Bridge of the River Kwai song every time I do the lawn. Yeah.
I did have a point to my ramblings, and which was that there's a whole bunch of people that really don't give a shit about a lot of the stuff that some of a different generation cares about. Yeah. And so like we've been saying, Billy, like some of these artists that got huge, these musical bands and different artists and different movie stars at different times, these different looks that were popular at the time that made that person a superstar. These certain things, they're all falling away, man. Yeah, man. Those people could Bob Seger become selling all those records now on the internet? Or George Thorogood or any of these, these people that got like any of these bands like Night Rain, name a giant band that was popular. But they were popular through a channelized thing. You know what I mean?
Or MTV, yeah.
Because there was only a limited amount of shit that you could hear. It was coming over the radio. The rest of if you didn't hear it on the radio, where did you hear it? There was no internet. There was one dedicated pipeline, and that was what you were getting. And that's all you got. And those people bought all those records. But now, how many? There's bands there's new songs coming up on the internet every single second of every single day. There's a band putting some music up there, or a musician. And so, at the point, how does someone get popular today? What is it exactly that would make you make money today if you're a musician besides live shows? Like, how do you make money off? how
you
much
have to have a single or whatever to get in the first place. Yeah, I was thinking about that today, like how the how they sold their souls for rock and roll was such a popular YouTube video. How they did these rituals and stuff, and they launched Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Bob Dylan, and all these other albums out there. And I don't know if there's any truth to that at all. But what I do know is that they were staged. They were staged operations, and they were promoted in a specific way, where they had control over the media they were on the air.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
You
So
didn't get on the air. Your record didn't get played, and the public wasn't aware of you until somebody played your record on the air. And you used to pay dudes to do it. They used to pay DJs to do it, whatever. However they got their name or their band out there, but even so, where are people even listening to radio stations anymore that where they're playing some new music that came out? I mean, how do people even find how are people even finding anything? I mean, what's going on with these services you
TikTok,
can buy?
man.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can buy these services where you can listen to any song in the world, but so what?
How do you find it? Yeah, no, I'll give you a good example. I gave up listening to the radio in the 90s. Actually, I just stopped. Like popular music or whatever. I just stopped because it got so ridiculous around late 90s, 2000s. It's like, come on, man, this is just bullshit. It's all packaged. Whatever. It's the packaging. It's not the music anymore. And I heard the first time the Muse song. Not Rebellion. What's it called? On an Aztecs Aztecs basketball game. Like, that's pretty good, right? It's only because I heard it in the context of watching it as a promo, the intro for a basketball game, that I was like, that's actually a good artist. I'll listen to that, right? And they're about 50-50. Muse is a 50-50 band, in my opinion. They're really good or way bad. It's just that's who they are. Because of this one guy really writing all the music, and that's good and bad for a lot of ways, but they're listenable. I like them. I have some of their albums now, but I would have never listened to them if not for that. I didn't find them on the radio. I found it because they were played as a promo to the Aztecs when I was following the Aztecs as a San Diego fan, right? Otherwise, I would have never heard that music ever, right? And that's the quandary that the world is in when it comes to this kind of promotion now. And that's what we were talking about Gen Z earlier. It ties back to that. The reason they're not tracked in the polls is because they're not captured, because there's a confusion about what do these people do? What do they watch? What do they listen to? They all TikTok. What are they, right? And there's all these theories about where they're at. But is it really tracked? Is the Cambridge Analytica style tracking of their movements that good, or is it not? Are they that secluded and reclusive rather, that they're not being tracked? And I think it's the latter. They are reclusive. They're deliberately stealth.
There's nobody that's not tracked, man. They're sitting there with
tracked,
screens
they're making their best effort to not
instantaneous demographics across the planet. At this point, man, there's a thermometer up every anus. 8 billion thermometers are up anuses at this moment.
I mean, they don't think twice about the end user license agreements and giving up their information. They were born into that world.
How do these bands make money? Because I play music on here, and if I don't charge money, then in other words, I'm not putting advertising on here, so there's no ads, so there's no money that comes in from that. So
yeah, it's the same as you listen to Pink Floyd at my house. I mean, it's so different, right?
Right.
I'm playing it at my house.
How are you making money off those? How are you making money off people listening to that? Because you used to get paid for that. You used to go, hey man, someone listen to my song, give me my 10 cents. Across the planet, 8 billion people with thermometers hanging out of their anuses or listening to your song, and you got 10 cents. How much is 10 cents times 8 billion? Because there's dudes living in the Hollywood Hills.
Ferrari, for sure.
It's one of those.
800 million.
Is that you? S90.
Welcome aboard, S90.
Yeah, it is. Hello, guys.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
You're sounding a bit worse for the wear, homie. What's going on?
No, just dry throat, honestly.
Oh, all right.
I was going to say, is it getting you over in Canada too? I mean, yeah. There's this whole thing. We're going to bring it up, and I'm sure Jimmy means to segue into it soon, but we're still thinking this. Like, everybody's fatigued right now. Everybody's like, what the hell's going on, man? Like, we're all tired.
I know.
All the time.
Okay, so wait a minute. Don't say anything. Let's take a random poll. First of all, chat room. If you're in the chat, I want you to tell us if you've been overwhelmingly tired and if your memory has been lapsing, you've been having brain fog. Okay, everybody on the panel, start with you, Billy. Have you been tired? Have you had brain fog?
Absolutely.
Okay. Rio, tired? Brain fog?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I have this new phenomenon for the last few weeks where I randomly fall asleep in my chair. Like,
Well,
if I sit down, I turn off. Like, I don't even I don't get drowsy. I don't doze. I just, next thing I know, I'm waking up.
That's called alien abduction, bro.
He's sitting on his
if I'm
power
active
button.
and doing something, I can run for 20 hours straight, no problem. But the minute I sit down, it's like gone, off.
Well, here, man, I'll tell you this. The other day, I was sitting there and I was chatting with a guy at work. I was on a break. And I was telling him, and I was talking about my car, and I couldn't remember what kind of car I had. I knew what kind of car I mean, I have a Ford or whatever, but I couldn't remember the model. I was sitting there. I literally, for the life of me, I couldn't remember it. It was crazy, man. And so that's when I, started wondering if other people were going, feeling the same thing and, having brain fog and feeling tired and stuff. And so people saying they are. It sounds like everybody on here says yes. Let me see in the chat room. What are they saying? Bunch of people are tired?
Everybody's tired.
Yeah.
Brain
Okay, so-
fog is
Tired,
50-50.
yeah. I don't think brain fog for me personally. I've just been worn out from
Okay,
all the
well,
stuff I've had to do.
The reason I'm bringing up the brain fog is because if there's some sort of atmospheric degradation that's been going on to where there's extra radiation coming in, and this is the kind of thing that happens. You wonder how the whole planet could just forget history. How could a new history be put forward in front of a bunch of people because they don't remember anything? You know what it's like? Well, imagine if you just all of a sudden just couldn't remember anything. You're just sitting there just going, hey, wait a minute, man. I don't know anything anymore.
Well, I've thought about this a lot, Jimmy. It's like, how would you know if you had brain damage? Would you be able to compare your previous thoughts to your current ones? Would you even know, right? Like, that's a good question. And
no,
what you're describing almost sounds more to me like light oxygen deprivation. It's kind of what it sounds like to me. I don't know. Just a thought.
It's all the heavy metals that are being sprayed into the atmosphere by aerial disbursement.
So what I was gonna,
you should see the stripes that we've had for the last few days.
What I was gonna say was that this radiation is going through your skull.
Yeah, radiation and the lithium.
Yeah, the radiation's going in your skull because it's letting it in. Now UVC coming in, so brains are boiling. People are going nuts. It's like I'm in an open air insane asylum we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
people are talking. People are talking to nobody in the air. People are emoting for no reason. You know what I mean? Guys are hanging over at the waist.
Jimmy, did you see the naked guy running down the streets of New York with a machete, and everyone just speed walks away from him and keeps going about their day as this guy walks around looking for a target?
Did you see the guy?
Oh, it was wild.
Did you see the guy who blew his hand off at the Dodgers thing?
I saw that. Yeah, I did, unfortunately.
What?
Yep.
That's a moment.
Yeah, he was throwing firecrackers and blew up his
It was
fingers.
It was more than a firecracker, dude. If it blew his hand off.
Yeah.
I had a firecracker blew off in my hand one time when I was like 15 years old. I was thought about it when I saw that story, and then I heard the audio of it. It's like it goes boom, and there's a couple of dudes going, "Oh my goodness!" His hand. It's like, yeah, he blew it off.
That's what happened to that football player from the Giants, right? The pass rusher. I can't remember his name right now. Yeah, that was his whole thing. He lost a couple fingers that way. It happens, man. It's a real thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, alcohol and fireworks don't mix. I don't know, if you smoke a little weed, you might be all right. I don't know. I've seen the driving tests. The guy that drinks the beer and the people that smoke weed, and then they drive through the course. The weed smokers always get through the course, no problems, and
just really slow.
And they eat a lot of donuts and shit on the way. Drink sodas.
Look, check the map for directions.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Yeah.
well, we've devolved into the abyss. 718-618-9905 is the number to call if you got the balls. give us a call. And even if you don't, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little bit, rash tonight.
It's late in the evening. The thing is, like, we're talking about the heavy metals in the atmosphere and the idea of giving lithium to people to distract them or make them
slow,
like to pacify people.
Right.
There's something to that. It's not that we were talking about it earlier about how there's or insinuated perhaps there's things being up there or put there, and there are.
Right.
They say it's for tracking the air currents and all the stuff that NASA does and all this other
bullshit,
stuff. And
man.
it's real. It's aluminum oxide and lithium and other heavy elements. But what if it's being done more so because you need to pacify the people?
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's why I told.
The high trigger point of
That's why I
society.
brought it up. Is because they were doing it then. How long ago was that article when that came out? It was like 4 years ago.
80s. Yeah. No.
It was recent. No. The one
the one you referenced is recent, but no, it goes back to the 90s.
I know, but recently it was a few years ago that they admitted it. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, they said it's geoengineering for. Actually, they said it was because of solar radiation. So. And global warming. They're trying to keep the planet cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the website up. I don't have it anymore.
It's
I looked for
right.
something else. Damn it.
It's all right because
that's true.
Then suddenly millions of conspiracy theorists were vindicated, right?
Yeah.
Chemtrails were real, Jimmy.
Well, the thing is too is the hot springs that I go to in Colorado. One of the main things in that water is lithium. And so I used to go there and I'd be like, man, everybody's happy in here. Everybody's smiling and feeling good. I didn't know the lithium was in there. And then one day I found out about it. I was like, damn, no wonder. Everybody's all happy.
Philadelphia, yeah. It was high.
That's what I'm saying, man. Man, I don't know. Do you think that drummer from the Foo Fighters? Do you think that singer?
Dave.
You think that singer dude made everybody in the band dance with Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh yeah.
And that drummer dude died because of it?
Oh yeah.
I know.
Pretty much. That's what it seems like.
I
know. Without a doubt.
And what was that movie he was in? Where him and the drummer,
a little devil movie.
Yeah, well, we showed that on here.
Yeah,
I can't remember. Yeah, the name of it.
Where he gets possessed. He moves into a house, and he gets possessed, and they're sitting there and they're rehearsing some song, and he's making that drummer do a beat or something, and then he takes a cymbal and throws it at the drummer's head and chops it off. He's all pissed off. I bet you they used to get in fights, huh? Him and that drummer.
Oh, Studio 666 was the name of the movie.
Studio 666?
Yeah.
Here, let me pull up the trailer for that. Why don't you guys jump in here while I do it?
Yeah.
Well, things are going to get weirder.
We have a caller coming in.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I see it on one machine, but I don't see it on the other now. Oh, there it is. Let's see. All right. 267. Hello.
Hey, guys.
Hey, 267, what's happening?
Hey, man, it's Mark. It's in the chat.
Hey, what's up, Mark?
I just wanted to call in about the tiredness and the brain fog and everything. So my wife now and I are on our honeymoon in Sicily, and when we were in America in Philadelphia, we both experienced throughout the day have to take naps, and we're in our mid-20s. And we got to take naps throughout the day. The brain fog, it's getting to a point where it's just ridiculous. And now we're here for the first time for me, and we're in a foreign country now, eating like really fresh foods and like non-processed bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both like just tremendously full of energy, and it's almost like we all knew they were poisoning us in America. But the extent to how they're poisoning us is just crazy.
Wow.
I mean, it's even going so far as to my wife. She has stomach issues where she can't eat gluten or dairy. But here, every meal we've had this whole week, gluten and dairy, She's had woken up with no bloat, no pain in her stomach.
Oh yeah, the food is totally different in Europe. It's so much better.
It's because
they have laws against GMO.
It's because of socialized medicine. Because they don't allow that stuff in food because it makes people sick and they got to pay for it. Over here, it's medicine for profit. So they just dump all these ingredients in our food. And you know what's really interesting, Mark, is that one of the hosts from Revolution Radio, Mr. Rowe, has gone to Spain. And he called in He called in and mentioned that he was kind of feeling the same way. That he was feeling the same way, that he was feeling better being over there. And so that's really interesting. Be interesting. Call back when you come back after you've been back for like a week and let us know if you're feeling different when you come back, or are you even coming back?
Yeah, I mean, if you feel that great, don't come back.
Are you going to stick around there?
No, we're definitely coming back.
Are you going to stick around
But
there?
yeah, that's all I wanted to say, guys. I've been listening to you guys since you were on Aftermath every day.
I know.
On Aftermath, and it used to be awesome listening to you guys as a driver at my job. I would just listen to it the next day.
Badass.
But yeah, you guys be great. Have a great day.
Right on. Thanks, Mark.
While you're in Sicily, make sure you get yourself some arancini and get different kinds. They're all over the place. They're awesome.
Yeah, we actually just tried that the other day, so we're definitely going to get some more.
There you go. All right.
Badass.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks,
Enjoy
man.
your vacation.
All right.
Thanks for calling, Mark. All right, listen, here's the trailer for Studio 666 on YouTube, Into the Microcosm of Jimmy Jean, if you want to see it. If not, just look it up yourself on your own computer. Here you go.
Foo Fighters, you gotta get me a record.
It's our 10th album. We gotta break the mold on this one. Let's go somewhere we've never been.
This place is amazing.
Do you guys get this overwhelming sense of death? Whoa. Doesn't really seem like the right fit. Whoa, that's rad. That was weird. The sound of this house is the sound of album 10.
All right, you guys. Amps, living room.
Let me apologize in advance for all the rock we're about to make.
Got a couple of ideas I've been working on. I'll lay them on you.
Dude, wait. It's called Everlong, and you wrote it about 20 years ago.
All right, I got to stop it there for a second and just take a breather before they catch me. The algorithm. Before it catches
Did you get
me.
the yellow triangle, Jimmy?
It's not yellow.
Yellow triangle, right?
It's not yellow yet. It's still mellow. It's not yellow. Here we go.
How you feeling? Everything okay?
Ever since we moved into this house, my mind is flooded.
We all have writer's block.
This is not just a creepy rock and roll house. It allows spiritual entities to cross into our world.
Oh my God! Dude has got one flew over the cuckoo's nest crazy.
It's this place, man.
Did you see his eyes were black?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. Let me back that thing up. Look at that. Look at him.
Yeah.
I'll smack.
Yeah. Well, they flipped black, right? So they're, he went from white eye to black eye.
I'll smack the look right off.
Dude has got one flew over the cuckoo's nest crazy.
It's this place, man.
Let's finish the track.
Can't we just wait, dude?
Play the drums.
You found a new musical note?
Hell yes, I did.
It's an L.
Any chefs in the group?
I'm pretty handy on a grill.
Yeah, you like your meat charred and dry.
He does make a killer barbecue.
What do we do?
We go save his ass.
Is the album almost done?
Yeah, it's killer.
Here you go, man. Finish the song.
You did.
See?
Nah, that's no. There's no Satanism there.
Now look at. I'm gonna slow this down.
I'm sure this trailer is filled with all sorts of subliminals and reversed messages.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, where he says that it's barbecue or whatever he just said.
Well, they do it deliberately too because they know about it.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course
yeah. I mean that's the whole thing. Like, so first of all, those guys, dark hair, their hair's dyed. Those guys have hair. Except maybe the drummer.
He had a problem with that drummer. Allegedly. No, I don't know.
It takes his head clean off.
It takes it off. It just chopped it right the F off.
It takes his head clean off with that Zildjian.
It's a callback to the James Bond movie with the guy with the hat with the razor edges, right? The Chinese guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was his
Odd
show?
Job.
Odd Job. That's it. Yeah.
Odd Job.
You know, it's what this is to me is a bunch of guys who used to think they were hipsters and probably were no longer hipsters, but middle-aged guys. They're dyeing their hair black when it's actually gray, and they thought, "Hey, man, we got resources, we got a fan base. We never really were that good. We'll just go ahead." That sounds terrible, but we're gonna make this movie. It's gonna be hip. It's gonna be cool. And no, it's actually not. You know, that's my opinion of it, man. It looks to be like the guys are trying too hard, man. They're trying too hard.
The Foo
They got the money to
Pfizers.
finance it, and they just, they shot their wad essentially.
The Foo
Sounds terrible.
Pfizers. The Foo Pfizers.
I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
Me
That's the
neither.
whole thing. And when it comes to music, I'm particularly biased for some reason. I don't know why. Well, I'm biased in everything else. But when it comes to music, I'm biased. I never liked those guys ever.
He sucked in Nirvana and he still sucks now.
Yeah.
I mean,
It sounds terrible. They might be listeners. They might love us. They might listen right now. And I'm just telling them my honest opinion that I would never listen to their music on purpose ever.
yeah, he doesn't listen to us. He's a devil worshiper.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Maybe. Judging from that movie, I'd say it's pretty good.
Well,
bet.
he was just trying to be hip and campy, but it's not hip and campy. I look at it that way, but
Nah, he's into it, man. He's totally into it.
Well, he didn't have any respect for his wife or his relationship.
Or his drummer, or the friends and the people in his band, right? I mean, yeah, it's an ego trip. It's like a I got this money, I'm going to spend it on this. And yeah,
He was a good drummer, man. That guy.
Please don't make me reverse Dave Grohl to prove my point.
Yeah. Didn't he also say the audience had to get it too? So I mean,
I don't know. Here's Dave Meniketti though.
He thinks that the Nirvana audience is his audience, and I'm not a Nirvana fan either, actually. But the thing is, they're not. That's the thing.
Don't
right?
talk over Dave Meniketti.
Oh, okay.
618-718-9905 is the number to call. Here's Bay Area legend Dave Meniketti. Seven 618-618-9905.
Last night when I thought I heard you knock on my door, I could have sworn I heard you, baby, just like I did the night before. Well, I've got this bad, bad feeling you ain't gonna come round here no more.
They say the days of the Guitar Hero are dead. Generation Z don't care about no guitar.
That was my point,
They don't
actually,
give a
about
shit.
grunge, right? It's because what grunge did was take away the lead guitar. There's no lead guitarist in grunge. That's what it is. That's the essence of what grunge is, right? And so you take away lead guitars, and you think, well, maybe that's good. We put too much stock in lead guitars. It's corporate rock, right? But no, you're taking away the essence of rock by taking away all the instruments. Is what you're doing.
Well, when you're laying around in your secondhand clothes in a heroin daze.
Heroin-induced coma. Yeah, right. No, that's no doubt, man. So why are we surprised that, the rhythm section is all that's left of, what was originally just a rhythm section to begin with in a band, and that they're making movies based on
these monuments and everything that got torn down and all that. It's really just a physical representation of what's going on right now, because there's like a bunch of people that are not the same age as a lot of the population that are on their way out, and the value systems and the customs of those people are dying out, just like the music and the movie. Man, could Humphrey Bogart be a giant star winning Academy Awards in 2024?
in color. No.
I'm just saying, man, in the age of Brad Pitt, man, who's Humphrey Bogart? You know what I mean? And in the age of, I couldn't even name a popular young actor right now, because ever since green screens and computer generated movies have come into play, I really haven't gone to movies. I really don't care.
I gotta walk back what I just said. The African Queen is actually a really good movie with him and Katharine Hepburn.
No, they're good movies, yeah.
Both older people, yeah. And
I'm
so
saying,
the writing had a big impact, more so than it does now, because the writing was the strength of that movie, as was Casablanca, right? So it was the writing and the acting. It wasn't special effects. It wasn't promotion. I mean, Casablanca was a B movie.
No, you don't have to convince. You don't have to convince me, man. There's a bunch of really good
I know
movies,
exactly in our audience.
But I'm
We're
just
kind of in the same
saying,
boat here, but
right now, if you got access to these older artists, and
they'll
these-
never make them a star. Is your point? And I think that's true.
well, the point I was actually going to make was, if you license those old actors, because they're the ones you can get a hold of right now. So, getting a Schwarzenegger or a Stallone right now to make movies with an AI using them as a character is probably not going to happen. But you can probably get a lot of these older actors. And so what I'm saying is, when they do that and they remake shit or they make new shit with these older actors, do they think that people are going to pay money to see that? In other words,
they did it to Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
They made him young in the movie with the AI. Some people didn't like the movie. I thought it was a good movie. I watched it on the airplane. So.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some people who are for it and some people who are totally against it. And I guess rightfully so, because they're having their likenesses stolen.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, that's going to be a whole thing in the near-term future at some point.
It's a thing already.
Licensing your likeness, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder about Carrie Fisher. Remember how she, in this, kind of nerd out for 2 seconds, but in the second of the 3 new Star Wars movies from Disney, there was a scene where they clearly changed it. She was going to die, because they were going to have one character die each movie to phase out the old and then phase in their new characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then she died in real life on that plane. And then suddenly she's like using the Force to pull herself through space, and she survives because they can CGI her now, right? So they were like, "Oh, keep her alive because she's dead. We can do whatever we want with her," right? And so it like there are some. Like I was talking to someone, and they're talking about Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell, and the simplest explanation being, some people are worth more dead because the people who control their albums and
like Elvis,
right, and their collection of works, like it's just in some cases like Carrie Fisher was worth more to Disney dead in real life and as an AI character they can just use again and again.
That's very typical of the entertainment industry. You always make more money after you die. But actually, Carrie Fisher's family is now suing Disney for using her likeness without permission.
See, it begins.
It's finally come around. Yes.
Yeah. Treasure of the Sierra Madre. That was.
We don't need no stinking badges.
And then what was there was one where they were on an island and there's a hurricane coming in and some gangsters got stuck there too. Edward G. Robinson's in it. And yeah, The K. Is that what it's called? The K?
Well, the K is a novel, not even a novel. It's a short story. They made a movie about it. Yeah, with that's a guy who's ex-slave and the kid stuck on the island.
I forget what it was. I read that book, The K, but I can't.
K's good.
Yeah,
K's
I
good
can't
book.
remember. I can't remember now. See, brain fog.
Brain fog. No, I know. I think I know what you're talking about. That I think that movie has.
It's
called. To have Lauren Bacall in it because he married Lauren
Yeah, it
Bacall
does.
at the time.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's Edward G. Robinson, and he's a gangster.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, it's on the boat at the marina or something.
Yeah,
right?
He's a captain on a boat, and he's. I think Bogart is riding these gangsters on his boat, and they get stuck on this thing, and then Bogart gets pissed. It's a good movie. I'd recommend it.
Well, the writing, right? The writing was so great. I mean, because you needed good writing back then. You didn't have all the Key Largo. This Renaissance says that's it. I think that's it.
Yeah, Key Largo. Exactly.
Because Edward G. Robinson's shot on the pier, right, or on the marina or whatever at the end. Sorry for the spoiler, but it's 60 years old. So
See,
you had your chance.
See, that movie's
60. No, it's more than that. It's like 75 years old. Right?
See, young people don't give a shit about that movie.
No.
No, but see, they should watch it.
The ones that grow up with AI art aren't going to care about the real stuff eventually, right?
No.
Like people today still have an appreciation for the old stuff, and they have a little bit of appreciation as AI gets better and it gets worked into more people, the daily lives of people, right? And the AI art becomes used everywhere in marketing and movies. People are just going to kind of be like, "What? You mean an AI didn't design your shirt, bro?"
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
at this point, it's played out though. It has a certain style to it. You know what I mean? It looks like.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do think there's the most important thing to me that I see, and maybe you guys can agree or disagree, is the idea of AI gaslighting. Like the AI is gonna gaslight us because it knows how to, right? We didn't really like that movie Key Largo. It's not really Key Largo because this is better, right? It wasn't really Star Wars you liked. It was the idea of Harrison Ford. We got Harrison Ford now. You know what I mean? It's gonna be this kind of gaslighting that make you question your own memory. That's what's going on.
Everyone's losing their memory, man. You're not going to remember. You don't remember what happened 4 years ago, dude. You don't remember the Michelle Pfeiffer incident. It's like it happened to somebody else. You know what I mean? We're all our brains are scrubbed. Our brains are being scrubbed with cognitive warfare. We're stuck in a rut and can't get out. We've fallen and can't get up.
I was curious, Jimmy.
Where's the beef?
Does the brain fog clear after you wake up from a nap, or is it like still just there all the time? 24/7?
It's not brain fog. It's just remembering shit, and I have a really good memory. So it's just been like for the last couple of weeks. It's just been calling back memories or whatever, or certain aspects of facts.
It's like a stutter. It's like a stutter. Right?
It is.
Like you know what it is. And it's just
Yeah,
you know, you remember.
It's on the
but
tip.
it's a stutter.
It's like it's on the tip of your tongue or whatever.
But does it clear up? That's what I'm asking. Like, does the sleep?
Well, I
you
drove
say,
to work and I
you
made
gotta
it back home. I mean, I worked all day. I did everything else I'm supposed to do. I mean, I'm just saying, but this idea of like, what if you forgot all of a sudden how to do shit? You know how to tie your shoes, but what if all of a sudden you didn't know how? What if all of a sudden you didn't know how to cook an egg? What if all of a sudden
Right. What if the stutter goes beyond just what we think of now, right?
That's what I mean. What if you're just sitting there and you don't know what to do? You know what I mean? It's like that. What if you just like, whoosh, you know what I mean? It's positive turns to negative all of a sudden. The magnetic field shifts, and then all of a sudden everybody forgets everything. So, okay,
well, I've had this thing, and I guess more so lately, and I don't really attribute it to old age. Is where like when I'm at work, I'll have to walk across the shop back to my box to get something, and by the time I get there, I can't remember why I walked over there. What I was supposed to get.
In-room-nesia.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. It's a great. That should be an official word. It's great.
You gotta stand. Sometimes I gotta turn around and look at what I was doing and think about it and go, "Oh yeah, that's what I wanted."
See, I think, see, this is the thing I noticed when I was on the Kev Baker show when we were talking about people coughing up this clear plastic-like liquid, and
It is plastic.
all of a sudden, a bunch of people start chiming in from all over the world. All got the same thing, and that's the thing is we all sit here and think we're all by ourselves, like we got a headache, we got brain fog, we're tired. But it turns out when we ask other people, we're finding out that everybody is. And to me,
heck, don't go.
huh?
He's bringing up the human centipede. Don't go there. That's nasty.
All right. Well, listen. It's time for us to GTFO. We'll be back tomorrow with the Chilluminati, the Supreme Order of Magnitude, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Pacific, freeworld.fm, and also on Into the Microcosm Jimmy Jean on YouTube. We really appreciate you guys choosing to hang with us tonight. And, we had some fun. I mean, sometimes we go off track, but whatever, man. We're just here hanging with you, fiddling like Nero.
Go where the flow happens to flow.
Go with the flow, Joe. Just say, go.
Go goes, we go.
All right, we're going to head on out. Billy, thanks for being here if you're still there. We'll see everybody at S90. Everybody in the chat. We'll see you tomorrow night.
This is the reason why I've canceled my internet subscription.
What if I told you that there's no such